All right, I'm unmuted. What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mayon buntag, magandan umaga, mayonaga. What's happening? Good morning. How's everyone doing? Sorry, I'm just getting situated here, getting running around. A lot to kind of go over right away here. So, one of those is, and that's kind of what I was working on right now, is this language app that I've been developing. Really excited about that. I've been developing a tool for us to learn some of the local dialects. I'm not going to have, I don't even know how many dialects. I think there's 30 or so different dialects. But right now I've got Cebuano and Tagalog are the two dialects that I'm putting through. And I'll put in like Ware Ware and a couple of the other ones, Hilongo. But yeah, I'm working on this language app and it's coming together. Actually, I was working, Mary Rose and I last night were working through the demo. I don't have anything to show you guys, but it will be on the Patreon page here. I'm hoping the next day or two. Check it out. Free to use. So check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Give me some feedback on that. So really excited about the language app. And yeah, like I said, we used it last night and it was funny. She was laughing at me and also surprised as I was speaking some stuff, in the language. So, it's just important, guys, whether you live here or vacationing here or whatever, it's just important for us to know at least a couple of words in local language, right? Hello, how are you? That kind of deal. So, yeah, 1 second here. My mouse is giving me problems. Okay, good. All right, so let's get to my talking points here real quick. And that was one of them. Yeah, really great about the home video we just shot. That video just skyrocketed. Wow, really excited about that. Over 100,000 views now. Great video. Really been fun. We're happy to show you guys around. In the intro here was some footage of just the various construction projects. Gosh, this is brand new construction here. This whole development. So there was no landscaping, no none of that. It was just dirt mound. And so, yeah, really excited to kind of show you guys that. That was the landscaping piece, and we put it all together, and that's going to be nice. Now, like any landscaping, it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of fully develop, but really excited about that. Got some grass again and some shrubs and stuff, so it'll be cool. Let's see here. And then, yeah, we just shot a video and released that last night with grocery shopping. I tell you, man, one of the great things about being in some of these little bit bigger towns is you do have access to real grocery stores. I can't tell you, man, we were living over in Bacolod where Mary Rose is going to school, and we didn't have that. We had these small, tiny little grocery stores that really had hardly anything. So we bounced to maybe 2 or 3 of those types of stores. And oftentimes we just couldn't get what we needed. We had to drive like an hour and a half to Ormoc to get to the kind of grocery store that we showed you in the video. So, yeah, really excited about that. And just kind of too, in that types of video, just show you guys what it's like here. Show you guys, the grocery store and how much things are and what brands are there and all that stuff, right? Because I mean, for me, that was one of my deals when I got here. Is one of the first things I did is, all right, let's see what's in the grocery store. How am I going to eat and feed myself? So that was pretty cool. And I still find that interesting. I love the markets and that kind of deal. How we access food and stuff is something I continue to shoot on this channel and will shoot. Around that, we'll probably shoot some more videos on the local markets here, because the markets are just so cool and so unique, right? I compare them to like farmer markets or street markets in the United States. Same thing here. But really cool, really cool. Yeah, so some channel milestones, man. I hit 20K subscribers. Now, look, you may have not heard this before, and there's some truth to this, but maybe not. But really, anything over 1,000 subscribers is kind of a vanity mark, right? That's the requirement to get monetized, is 1,000 subs. So, but it does feel good to watch things grow and develop and hit the 20K mark over the weekend. So that was super exciting. The first 10,000, actually, the first 10,000 subscribers, many of you guys have been here for that. That came quick. That was pretty quick, less than 6 months. I think I started my channel, in March, and by August, I had 10,000 subs. But the last 10,000 subs took 2 years. So things have slowed down pretty dramatically since then, but whatever, it's all good. It's like you said, this is hobby, this is fun, but like anything that you put work and effort into, even if it is a hobby, right? It's fun to watch that grow and develop. So excited about that, and you know, whatever that means, right? Yeah, talked about the language app already. Yeah, it'll be available on the Patreon page. Still working through it. I thought I was going to have a live demo that I could show you guys. Maybe we'll show it on the next one. But it will be on the Patreon page as soon as I got that. Like I said, really cool little flashcard demos to take you through. And you know, what was the? I think I've got one up right here that it says. Yeah. How do you say where are you going in Cebuano, right? So it's like multiple choice. And yeah, asaka moto. Anyways, so yeah, really fun, really fun. And I think the other app that I'm actually looking to develop is a couple of them. I'm looking to develop a real estate app to help you guys find housing. And the other one I was looking for, oh, is a city picker. I'm trying to, because those are some of the big questions that I get, right? So I wanted to see if I can develop an app regarding helping you guys pick a city. And what I envision there is it would be like you put kind of like whatever top three things at your priorities, and then also two like subcategories, sub priorities, and things like that, and then help you pull cities that fit those particular wants and needs, because that is one of the big questions. Oh, and it is hard. Gosh, I mean, could you imagine moving to the United States, for example? Like, where the heck do I want to live? And then having some application around that that could point you, I think would be really helpful. So yeah, language app, city picker app, and whatever the hell the other one was that I said. But yeah, that's what we got going on. Let's see what else here. Yeah, future content. So Mary Rose. So for the past, I don't even know. I've been here what 2.5, going on 3 years now. The past 3 years, 2.5 years, I've been wanting to get over to Bacolod to see the MassKara festival. And if you don't know what that is, it's this huge, really elaborate festival. We put on costumes. My understanding of a little bit of the historical impact of that is there was a really dark and depressive time in the Philippines. They didn't have food, and the local government of Bacolod wanted to find a way to help lift people's spirits up. So he created this City of Smiles, really, this festival. And so that's what it's about, these really elaborate costumes. And even before I moved to the Philippines or knew about the Philippines, I had seen images of the Bacolod, of the MassKara festival. So, yeah, really excited about finally going there. So we booked our reservation yesterday. So we'll be there for the MassKara festival, and then so we're going to ride out. I don't even maybe a week or 2 weeks before. Take our time, ride that whole western or northern Mindanao coast, come up through Dumaguete, and then go up to Bacolod, right? So that's definitely coming. And the MassKara festival will be mid-October. So whatever, month and a half away from now. So, and then we'll plan on doing some more stuff around Butuan, right? We'll shoot you guys markets. We're going to do some beach stuff. We finally feel like we got our security bars just installed, whatever, a couple of days ago. So we finally feel like we're really kind of settled in here, or we can peel off for a while, not have to really worry about much. We've got the house set up. So yeah, anyways, that's what we got, future content coming on. And my last point that I wanted to talk about, which is kind of the nature of these live streams and kind of how they are and how I like to kind of work them. For those of you who are new or whatever, need a reminder, is we all forget, like I do. But these live streams, I like to deep dive into stuff. I like to go through things that we can't necessarily go in a comment section. I like to answer your questions, talk about what you got going on. I mean, I'm pretty much an open book, if you guys haven't noticed already or been around for that long. So, feel free to open up and ask what's there, what you're thinking of, what questions you have. I know for me, when I was looking to move here, live streams were so key. And, shout out to Gio. I watched a lot of his, and it was just super, super helpful for me. So yeah, that's the kind of the nature of this. And, the other part around the comments and stuff, if I've been able to get through them all. I don't necessarily have a commitment to get through them all. I like to get through a commitment of all, but I can get behind a half hour, 20 minutes or so behind in comments. If I don't get to your comment, or if I skip over it accidentally, I'd apologize. Feel free to shoot me an email or whatnot. I do like to kind of, if you got questions though, I do like to ask that we ask them here, not so much email, because more than likely a lot of people are going to have that same question. So anyways, that's the kind of the thing about the live stream. And then, we can talk about whatever. We talk about motorcycle, travel, budget, whatever, right? So I think that's all the notes that I had on here. So yeah, that's all the notes I had on here. Hopefully I had myself unmuted. I'm still learning, guys. I'm still figuring this all crap out. I wasn't into TV or video or any of that crap beforehand, so this is all new to me. But yes. Yes. What's up, Odo? Good morning, brother. How you been? You been busy? I've been seeing you. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to move this mic around a little bit. I've been seeing you in the comment section. Good for you, brother. I'm glad you're having fun with that. Helping people out, right? That's great. Yeah, man. Hope you're good up there. I'll make it up your way here, I'm sure, at some point. Good for you. George, good day from Canada. What's up, man? How's it going? Hope all is good up there. So what do we got here? We got August 30th, my time. And so coming into September, coming into fall, right? Sure, it's gorgeous up there. Let me just unlock my phone, unlock my watch. Yeah. So pretty much the same. The weather doesn't fluctuate here much, regardless if it's June 21st or December 21st, given that we're 9-10 degrees latitude. But I'm sure you guys are getting ready to cool down there. I remember, so I lived in Colorado before moving to the Philippines, and can be quite warm in Colorado this time of year. But then you get the beauty of Colorado is you'd get these cool nights, right? Like even in the middle of summer, you'd get the nights would drop in the 50s or so. That's why these attic fans, these whole house attic fans, are super popular, because you could suck all that hot air out of the house and pull in a bunch of cool air. So yeah, good for you, brother. Hope all is well up there. Bob Marley intro, I love it, right? I know, right, Ron? Yeah, I was picking that music out last night. I was like, here's a good vibe for it. Yeah. Brother, I'm excited about the language app. And like I said, Mary Rose and I last night sitting on the couch, we ran through several of the flashcards and exercises, multiple choice stuff. And freaking really it was very intuitive, very great. She was laughing. But we're still tweaking it. It'll be up there for demo. You know what? Actually, too, I'll also post it on the YouTube community page. That's another thing, too, guys. I'm really kind of getting kind of a routine or schedule down. So I'm planning on Patreon posts on Tuesday, Wednesday, YouTube community posts, and then Friday video. So, and then shorts kind of throughout wherever. But that's kind of the schedule that I'm looking to do. So there'll be a lot more in the community post too on YouTube that I just really, honestly, I haven't dove much into, but I think it is an important aspect of growing a community, is putting stuff out there. So I'll also put the language app, a link to it on there, and it'll just be it's a web link you guys can click on and see from there. So nothing to install, my understanding, anyways. Yeah. Good morning from Naples, Florida. Yeah, Naples, beautiful, right? Yeah, good for you. So I lived in Anna Maria Island when did I move down there? 86, 85, I think it was, 86 maybe. Lived down in Anna Maria, Bradenton, Sarasota, Tampa. So yeah, familiar with your area for sure, for sure. Morning, Chris from Sphera. I'll back. Being black with my partner and family since 18th of August from England. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right, cool. Nice, man. Hope all has been back since August 18th. Good for you. Just get back. I'm sure you're happy to be back here. Yeah, I know when I went back home in the States, I couldn't wait to get back here. Simpler living, easy living, chill living. Yeah, it's been good. Although it's been busy the past couple months here, but good busy, right? Like good stuff. Back in the gym, working out. We're running again. got a great running area around here, nice little perimeter jogging, jogging roads to kind of go on. So it's going well. Yes, brother. Hey, we're gonna probably be up in your name area around the Bacolod festival, around the MassKara festival. Yeah, we should meet up. So either more than likely after, but potentially before, we're gonna ride up Don Salvador area. So, brother, we're gonna be right in your neck of the woods. We should, you're on my radar. Would love to meet up if you want. Both Mary Rose and I will be there. The plan is now to ride 2 bikes, but I want to ride your region, man, because I've been through there before. Just gorgeous, right? You know what? Let's pull up the map. Let's see here. Let me get the map up and running here. Yeah, there we go. And then present, share screen, Google Maps, share. Okay, great. So yes. So yeah, so we're gonna ride up. I'll kind of go over that route real quick. So here we are in Butuan. We're gonna ride the whole northern coast of Mindanao. We'll probably stay here in the mountains up here. Yeah, there's this Camp Zion place. I think it's probably where we're gonna stay. And then bounce over to, we're gonna ride right through CDO and probably go right to Iligan, and then spend a night or two there, and then bounce all the way over to the Polug, or probably stay out on the beach resorts out here. What do you call this? Is this Dapitan? Yeah, Dapitan. And then bounce over to Dumaguete, and then ride up. So, but either before the MassKara festival or after, which is here in Bacolod, we plan on riding your neck of the woods, brother. And I want to ride this ride again, as I just absolutely thought it was one of the most spectacular rides I've done so far. This whole freaking loop, guys, just amazing, just incredible. This coastal road is, yeah, whatever, but these mountain roads, man, they are just epic. And I'm pretty sure, brother, that's where you're in that area. So, yeah, if you're around, um, like I said, either before, more than likely after October 20th is when we'll be in your area, and we're going to shoot a lot of that. Great idea about the location app. I'm all over the place. I fall in love with every city. Mary Rose jokes at me. She just laughs because I get to all these dang cities. I'm the same way. I'm like, I could live there, but that's kind of what you want to do, is you kind of explore and go to these cities. And that's what Butuan was for me. It was one of those cities, one of the many cities that I was like, you know what, I could live here. And that's a great sign. That's a great sign. And means there's just a ton of options for you. But I'm with you. And I would like to develop a tool around that helps us pick, right? And I'm still trying to figure out how the heck that would work. But it's something I'm looking to kind of do. I haven't done anything other than concept or think about it, right? But the language app is almost ready to roll. But that is another application. That is something else that I'm really interested in pursuing and looking at, because it is one of those things that we have as foreigners, like location, and what the hell was the other app that I was looking at? Oh yeah, housing, right? Both kind of go together there. So getting a housing app and then a location app, a city app, I think would be huge. So in the works, just kind of, like I said, just starting to think that stuff all through. The nice thing about where we're at in today's technology is you don't necessarily have to be a software developer to create these things anymore. I do have a pretty big IT background, right? 20 plus years in the industry, but I'm not a programmer, none of that. So, but now I can bring that mindset like I did in the IT industry, solving problems and solutions around technology. I can bring that into this community as well. And those are some of the ideas that I have, is to help you guys out with language stuff, housing stuff, and location, right? But I'm with you, man. Everywhere I go, it stands out as places to live. And, honestly, though, with that thinking, and Liz, reflecting back at my last 2.5 years of travel, Leyte stand out, Mindanao stand out for me. It's some of my favorites. And Cebu is some of my least favorite, honestly. yeah, it just didn't jive well with me. And that doesn't make Cebu bad and wrong, right? Salt and vinegar potato chips, it doesn't make that wrong. It just is what my preference was. And so yeah, but I'm also admittedly haven't traveled all over the Philippines yet. So there's still a lot that I need to discover. So, but yeah, working on that stuff for sure. Yes, good day, Williams. Yeah, Williams, Arizona. All right, William from Williams, Arizona. Gotcha. All right, William. Well, yeah, thanks to you, brother. Hope all is good there. Appreciate it. Invisible American Man. Dig it. Yes, the real estate app is going to create garbage in, garbage out. Yeah, I need to find a way to pull that because honestly, the biggest resource to pull from is going to be Facebook. And Facebook has some challenges of tapping into their stuff. So, and you're right, there could be some garbage in that. So, like I said, just thinking through it. I haven't even started it, but just kind of in the beginning phases of, you know, one of the things that my dad shared with me as a kid, when I started working, I started delivering papers when I was like 15, right? Did that job for a couple of years every day, 5 in the morning, cross country skiing sometimes in the morning with my sled. But my point in that is when you're looking for careers and jobs or being successful, you want to solve problems, right? So employers hire people to solve problems, not to create ones, right? But to solve them. So that's kind of the mindset that I've had a lot of my life is what problems need solving. And the bigger the problems you can solve, the more successful you can be, whatever, right? And it's not about success really, but it's one of the wiring of my mind, and probably a lot of us men, right, is fixing problems and looking for solutions and things like that. And the housing and and just like dating, right? Trying to connect ourselves with the right person, the right house, the right city. And there's all these different factors and elements involved in all of those things, right? And then we're trying to find ways to merge technology with those things is kind of who I've been my whole life. So I'm excited, but you're right. I think it's going to be a challenge, but whatever. I'm down for that. Yeah. Typical, for instance, we for rent listings in Facebook Marketplace, for whatever reason, they don't include the date of the listing or when posted. Yeah, no, you're right, brother. The other thing about that is that with Facebook's Marketplace, you'll get a lot of like, I don't even know what to call it, like ghost ads or whatever. They don't really exist, but they're meant to kind of draw you in. So you'll reach out to that listing and you'll get a reply back, oh, sorry, it's been rented, right? But I've got these 5 other places to show you. So like you start to question whether or not that was even a real posting or not. It's just a way to kind of get you. And at least that's what I discovered with that. So sorry, I got a fly buzzing around there. But yeah, no, you're right. There'll probably be some some challenges with that. Well, from Morgan, God bless. Yeah, thank you, Lowell. Hope all's good up there. Yeah, thank you. I know you love to ride, but do you see yourself in a car, truck, SUV in the future? If so, what do you think the ideal for the Philippines? Yeah, great question. Um, yeah, and I do love riding and probably will ride for quite a while. Just the scooter, man, is so dang practical. So practical here, man. Oh man, it's just really good. But yeah, so there's a couple things about driving in this country that I think we should talk about with this is I wouldn't drive in Cebu. I wouldn't even have really a motorcycle or scooter or car in Cebu City at all. I don't think you really need one. I think you can get by with just the public transportation, the grabs, the taxis, the motorbike taxis, all that stuff, right? Parking adds a whole nother element, maintenance, all that stuff. So a lot of that just really depends on where you live. But outside of Cebu, probably BGC, Makati, Manila, and then Davao, and some of these bigger other cities, you do need transportation. You really do. I mean, here in Butuan, I think it'd be hard without it, right? But in Cebu, it's the opposite in some of these other locations. But so to answer your question though, yeah, I mean, I'd like to get a car, vehicle, that kind of thing down the road. And the cars are cheaper here. I was just chatting with Michael. They bought a Mitsubishi SUV, whatever. I think I can't remember what he said. It was in the 20s, maybe 26, for a SUV. So the vehicles are cheaper. They're not elaborate like they are in the West. There are some manufacturers. I can't remember. There's one that's similar to Volvo out here that can be a little costly, but a decent SUV was 26,000. So yeah, cars are cheap. Japanese is the way to go out here. Anything American made like Ford or stuff is going to be expensive. There is a Ford dealership right in town here in Butuan. But yeah, no, I would get a vehicle down the road. I think similar to a bike though, something with a little bit of a suspension is kind of key. So some of these bigger, unfortunately, you kind of want to. So a small SUV would be good. A small SUV would be good. Something with a little bit of suspension, but also too can go on some of this off-road stuff. There's actually a buddy of mine. He was in Cebu. He bought one. It's a Toyota brand. It's a small SUV. It's not the RAV4. I don't think I've seen a RAV4 out here. But a nice little turbo, some acceleration and kind of get around stuff. Because that's the other thing is you'd want a little bit of power to move around slower moving vehicles and pass safely. But yeah, I would think a small SUV would be kind of ideal for the Philippines. But in the right situation, right environment, if you're in some of these bigger cities, like you really don't want your own transportation. Where is the next riding video going to be? I think Mary Rose and I, here in the next couple days, are going to we're going to ride out to probably the beach, and we'll probably shoot out there. We haven't really been to the beach yet. Well, there is a little bit of a beach here in Butuan, but it's hardly anything at all. It's kind of small. We've been pointed about 45 minutes or so away. There's a nice beach area, so we'll probably ride out there. And then, early October, I think, is when we're going to hit the road for that big MassKara Festival trip. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of riding coming up, as we're going to ride, like I said, that whole northern coast of Mindanao, ride all the way up through Negros. We'll be there for the MassKara Festival, and then we'll ride the mountains, the Don Salvador region of Negros. So there's definitely a lot of riding coming up. But I could see right away, Ron, we'll probably do some, because Mary Rose has been itching to get on the bike. We'll probably do a beach trip here in the next day or so, especially now that we've kind of got settled in. I noticed the prices are a little less in the grocery store. They're like eggs. What about 60? We're about 60. Oh, you're about 60 cents less. Okay. I think the wet markets will be the cheapest to buy food when I'm there. Thoughts? Yeah, no, for sure. I think anytime you get in some of these big chain grocery stores, you're probably going to pay a little bit more. What we do is we buy a lot of our stuff there at the big grocery store, like dry goods and stuff, and then we'll go to some of these markets. But you want to be careful, especially when it comes to the meats and stuff like that. The nice thing about Lowell, when you go to Robinson's and SM grocery like that, the produce stuff there is safe. It's not, you don't have to worry about anything, the food and stuff like that. When you get some of these markets, in particular these wet markets, you're taking a little bit of chance. You want to make sure that you're going with a Filipino or somebody who has a real understanding of what to look for, especially with fish and meats and stuff like that. So we try to go to, we've got a really good meat market that we go to. It's kind of like anything else too. When you look at these restaurants and markets and stuff, look where all the people are going, right? If you can see, so when I was traveling on the road by myself and I'd go to these Karen Darren's, these restaurants, these barbecue places, I would go to the ones that were packed with people, packed with the locals. And that's where I would go get my food and stuff like that, just because I knew it was good and safe and that. But so a little bit of hit or miss. Yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more at some of these bigger grocery store chains, but the quality of goods can be a little bit better, healthier. Their food safety stuff is, on track with Westerners versus some of these wet markets, man, can be an absolute nightmare. So just be careful, right? Eggs we would get on the street quite a bit. I can't remember how much we would pay for eggs, but they were dirt cheap. I felt we did a video in Pond where we did the market stuff there, and we just honestly, Lowell, too, with the markets, we haven't really found them yet. We've been so busy getting settled and situated that we haven't been going to, we haven't really had the time to explore the city that much. But you're right in a lot of ways there. Michael, you'll be in Butuan City on Saturday if you're free to meet up for coffee. Absolutely, Michael. Yeah, shoot me an email. I think it's on my YouTube page and about there. Chris at carefreechris.com, I think is my email address. But yeah, a week from today, technically in my time, I don't see us being going anywhere. That, we don't necessarily have any plan to. I mean, that could potentially change, but the Philippines life is a lot of fly by the seat of your pants kind of deal. At least it is for me now that I'm not working or not working and I'm retired. But yeah, we should be around for sure. I don't see what's going anywhere. We've got some, like I said, some day trips and stuff like that. But yeah, let me know. Shoot me an email. Would love to meet up for coffee or dinner or whatever. Bo's Coffee here in town is really great. Enjoying that. Met a bunch of guys out there. So absolutely, brother. Shoot me an email. I'm leaving October 2nd. Dan Salvador is the best, right? Yeah, Forest Cabin for the night is great. We're up there all the time. Dude, is that where I stayed? Was that Forest Cabin? Yeah, brother. Gosh, I stayed somewhere up there. All right, I'll have to look that up. I'll have to appreciate that insight if that's not where I stayed before. Dude, I stayed at this really cool place right up in the mountains. I was right on the end there. No AC, didn't need it. Just gorgeous. So looking forward to get back there. Really, really looking forward to it. Beautiful part of the Philippines. Absolutely loved it. Richard, yes. Happy Friday. Happy Friday in the United States. Happy Saturday here. Friday night, right? Yeah, good deal. Hope everyone's good. Have I used AI? Yeah, I use AI. Man, I use AI all the time. I use it to bounce off ideas, talk about things, help me plan, strategize. Yeah, I use it all the time. A recent use case was my air conditioners. I had to buy 3 air conditioners. I don't know the brands. I don't know how big or any of that crap, right? So I really dove in and used AI to help me strategize my air conditioners. It coached me on the brands to buy because you've got several poorly made brands that are here, and you've got a couple, Carrier and Daikin, that are really well built. Daikin being one of the most premier, but it's Japanese, I believe. But the problem with the Daikin ones is they're a little bit more challenging to service. There's not as many service manufacturers out here or service centers, and then parts can be a little bit of a challenge because they got to ship them in. But Carrier, on the other hand, there's Carrier service everywhere, and the parts are easy, and it's well built. So yeah, and then just strategizing what size of units to use. So I've got a 1 horsepower in the bedrooms. I've got a 1.5 in the living room. So I use AI all the dang time, all the dang time. I absolutely love it. It's become an incredible, useful tool in my daily life. Highly recommend it for you guys. I like Chat GPT. I have the paid version, whatever, it's $20 a month. I mean, it's, whatever, same price as Netflix and so much more valuable. So I recommend it. You can use the free version. I ran out pretty quick. I think there's some other ones out there. Gork and DeepSeek are some of the other ones out there, but I pretty much just use Chat. Yes. Facebook Marketplace will not allow integration. Yes, you're absolutely right. Whatever they call the API is pretty locked down, but I think you just have to get creative. We'll see. However, labor is so expensive that you could pay a VA to scrape, the big marketplace page consistently. Absolutely. No, I think there's creative ways around that. But I do think, so for guys that are looking for housing, Facebook Marketplace is where it's at. It really is, man. It really is. If you don't find the place to live, if you don't find the listing there, you're going to get in contact with an agent who has a place for you. So Facebook Marketplace is so incredibly helpful when it comes to finding a place. But you're right, brother. There's might be ways to scrape it, whatnot. Um, yeah, it'd be hard though. I think you're right. I don't know. Ways, so like I said, I'm in that inquiry. How is it that we can help people find housing, or maybe it's even help people find an agent, right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, right? I'm in that inquiry, brother. What do you think? Let's develop it together, man. Because you're on track, right? You know what's going on. I've looked just briefly, but you're right. They lock it down, so you can't really interface with it. Oh no, Cebu is nice, but a small island. My U.S. friend and ex-neighbor called it a prison since life is congested for him. Yeah, he envies me from running away to Luzon. Yeah, brother, whatever. I teach their own. I am with you. I particularly didn't, especially after I got away from it. I particularly don't enjoy living full time in Cebu. Great town to visit, great place to be and hang out for a period of time. But for me, I was happy when I got away from it. But to each their own. It's the same thing as I've said before. If someone wants to have a great life in Detroit, Michigan, not a problem. If someone wants to have a great life in Daytona, good for them, right? I don't really care. Was not a good fit for me, Cebu either, and happier to be out in some of these smaller, less populated regions. But whatever, right? Teach their own. But yeah, what's nice about Cebu that we've said 100 times is that this is a great place to start, man. You could freaking drop in Selenia, that condo that I stayed in, right across from the business park. They've got 4 towers, hundreds of units, mall right across the street. I mean, that's just that easy way to get here in this country. Super easy. You walk over to JR from JR Visas, consult with them about all your visa questions and stuff, hire them to do stuff. I mean, they're just so incredible. I met JR's family, just a good guy, right? Anyways, Cebu makes it easy for us to get here. It really does, man. So easy. Plant yourself in the business park or the IT park. You can live a year in one and bounce over to live a year in another. It's nothing really inherently wrong with that way of living in the Philippines. Now, what I discovered is I prefer the more rural areas of the Philippines to be around more Filipinos. And that's just me. That's what I enjoy. So, but yeah, that's what really one of the things I like about Butuan is that it does have a lot more of the province vibe, but it's got some of those bigger city amenities. It's got multiple grocery stores. It's got multiple malls and stuff like that. I often talk about the Robinsons Mall and the SM Mall, but there's also the what do you call it, Gaisano Mall. So there are technically 3 malls, and they're building more stuff. And and for the guys that are in the West and they're like malls, what it's different out here in that sense. Malls are a big part of the community hub and are a big part in our life. If you notice that video I did, the freaking grocery stores in the mall, right? And that you don't have that in the States. So it is a place where you're going to get your groceries. It's going to be where you can potentially do government stuff there, driver's license. There's a place where you can get your teeth cleaned, dentist, doctor's office. We went to the doctor office in the Isla Mall there in Cebu. So it's just this huge hub for us as expats that we can get almost one stop and everything's there, plus clothes and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm happy to be out of Cebu City and into some other regions exploring. And I don't know how long I'll be here either. I think the plan is to be here at least 2 years, maybe longer. We'll see. They use Facebook too much there. Yeah, it does not work so well for many things. Yeah, Facebook, guys, is big in the Philippines, and get your Facebook account if you hadn't had one and you're looking to move over here. Go ahead and get your Facebook account set up. You're going to need it over here, even just for searching stuff. But yeah, I'd get your Facebook account set up. If you're a single guy looking to date, Facebook dating is probably the best app to use for dating. I would highly it's another reason why to get that set up. You just, yeah, I'm just, is it, I'm not a huge Facebook fan, right? Like prior to moving to the Philippines, I don't think I really got into it at all. But since I've been here, I like it. I like the groups. It's Facebook and social media in general has a tendency to amplify whatever's going on in the community. And this community is about family. It's about, you know, what do you call Catholic? It's super religious. It's super spiritual and family related. So the Facebook has also a little bit of that flavor and vibe, right? Yeah, there's scammers and crap like that out there on Facebook, but it's just a lot more connected. And so you've got, what do I mean by that? Well, you got these like writing groups, you've got all these communities that are really wanting to connect. Filipinos in general, it's a culture that wants to connect. It's Americans and Westerners, we're very isolated. We're very this isolated culture. We move away when we're 18. We go off on our own venture. The Filipinos are not like that. And that's how Facebook is also here. It's this very community driven kind of, it's hard to explain. I might be doing it a little bit here, but so that's kind of what I like about Facebook. It is a great place for you to connect with communities and people like that that are good. But yeah, right. Anyways, but I can see me coming back to Cebu in the future once my mobility is now. Yeah, we all get older. Although that was my strategy as well, is to come in my later years where they got the better medical care, the medical systems, the hospitals, go back to Cebu, and that might change. Whatever, knock on wood. I'm around 20 or 30 years where the medical systems in some of these other cities are just as well as Cebu and Manila, right? With St. Luke's and Manila. But that was my plan as well, is I needed more medical attention, have Cebu be that final kind of area that I go to. But maybe not. Maybe by then there's some spots throughout. But that was part of my strategy as well, as I was looking 30 years down the road. Is it okay to wear flip-flops when riding in Cebu? Lex, I don't believe so, no. I believe you have to wear closed-toed footwear when you're traveling in the Philippines, no matter where you are. Now, here's the thing about that, and then just kind of things like this in general. The rules are a lot of times just guidelines, and depending on where you're at, some places are a lot more strict than others. Cebu is pretty strict. You've got LTO checkpoints, a lot of places, not only about your gear and what you're wearing, but your registration. Having the registration on you is key. Having your OR and CR, your official receipt and customer receipt, right? So it just depends on where you're at, brother. Where was that? Bye Bye City. Dude, we were in Bye Bye City rolling around there, and nobody, not a soul was wearing a dang helmet. It was almost like they didn't want you to wear a helmet. And that's the vibe that Mary Rose got, because she asked. She's like, yeah, they had some whatever robbings or whatever years back, and people were wearing motorcycle helmets. So now they pretty much banned motorcycle helmets. So brother, it just depends on where you're at. I've been in places that are super chill and laid back. I've been in places that are super strict. So it just depends. But in general, yes, you're going to want foot protection. You're going to want eye protection. You're going to want to wear a helmet, foot protection. And I think that's the only requirements: eye, head, and feet. So either a visor for your helmet or sunglasses, a helmet, feet. And some places, like I said, are a lot stricter than others. Some places might long pants. Just depends, right? No, I would not bet on that. LTO rules, closed shoes. Yes, right. Yeah. So like Odo's saying, closed shoes, helmets, eye protection also is another one. But again, right, it just depends on where, man. It just depends on where you're at. It'll vary, like a lot of things. It's just going to vary. Banking is going to vary. You can go to 5 different banks and get 5 different answers regarding whether or not you can open up an account, right? And in the same bank chain, right? The BDO, you go to 5 different BDO banks and get 5 different answers on opening up an account. So it just, that goes with a lot of things here in this country. It depends on where you're at and what you're trying to do regarding, there is not a lot of certainty, which, whatever. I kind of like that in a way. Everyone has to get the next job. Every happy labor. Yeah. Oh, happy Labor Day. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Labor Day coming up. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah. And 3 years ago, I was here doing my scouting trip. I'll be damned. Yeah, 3 years ago, I did my scouting trip because I was here over Labor Day weekend. Matter of fact, I was probably out in Bohol for my first time. So cool, man. Yeah, happy Labor Day, everybody. Yes, Cebu is strict when it comes to traffic. I can tell you some stories. My first day in Cebu in 2000, I rode without a helmet and got caught right away, dude. I got 4 tickets in Cebu, I think. Yes, not for gear, but for making a dang left turn. So I've talked about this before. You'll pull up to an intersection and you'll make a left turn and you'll be completely fine. You'll come back to the next day and you'll get a ticket. And how this plays out is, and this is actually here in Butuan as far as the timing. So there, you can make a left turn during certain times. And this isn't every intersection, right? But you want to look for the busy intersections. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll block making left turns during like the morning rush hour or the afternoon, evening rush hour. So, and the signs, guys, are freaking, I mean, like tiny, and they can be blocked by traffic and whatnot. But what they'll have is an enforcer. It's a trap. They know they're going to peg you. It's a trap. And they'll have a guy standing right there. And then boom, he's on foot. And as soon as he sees you in that area, boom, you'll get a ticket. And it's just confusing because, like I said, you'll be there the day before and I've had no issue. And the next day you come back, and because of the time of day you're at, you'll get a ticket. So, but yeah, and the other thing that they're doing there in Cebu is they're checking OR and CR. They're checking registration papers, guys. So that's why it's super important when you buy a bike. You got to wait for that registration to go through before you get those papers. So you're right. Cebu is strict on your LTO. What's up, Mike? Yes. Hello, Buckwheat. Getting really close to just backing up and heading that way. I'm so tired of the crap here in US. Fingers crossed I can make their best man in that wedding. Good for you, brother. Yeah, I hear you. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I still think there's probably pockets of the US that are all right. The Midwest seems to be pretty good. I don't know, right? I've been gone now a couple years and I don't really know the life anymore there, but I'm definitely happy to be here. Mainly Mike too, and everyone. I'm just happy for the newness of it all. I'm happy of when I was looking at where I was wanted to live in the United States. I've been all over the U.S. I really had. I just wasn't excited or interested in being anywhere. So, the newness of my life here, just kind of it's exciting and traveling around, exploring, seeing different things, seeing different cultures is great, and it's got its challenges for sure. It's got its issues. It's not perfect, but it works for me. It works for me. I'm digging it. Lowell, I prefer the smaller towns, but I need to be near a private hospital. Yeah, for good cardiac care. So I'm looking at Cebu. Yep, I'm trying to figure out how close I need to be to the Changhua Hospital. Yeah, absolutely, Lowell. Yeah. So my understanding of that hospital is highly recommended, highly regarded. There's a couple of them, and one is better than the other. I can't remember, but I think you can figure that out once you get a little bit closer. There are private hospitals. There's 2 private hospitals here. We went to one. I'm a little bit on the fence, Lowell, and everyone, as far as what I want to do here. I'm considering going to Kuala Lumpur and going to that, I can't remember the name of it, Prince Crown or whatever the hell it's called. There's a hospital there. You can go spend whatever, I think $300-500, do a full medical workup. They're really open to medical tourism there. They've just really designed it right. So I'm considering going there in November and doing kind of a full workup. I could reset my visa and all that stuff. But on the flip side of that coin, I would like to really deep dive into the medical stuff here, just because I live here. So I'm kind of a little bit in that inquiry. We've stopped by, I think it's called the ACE Hospital here. It's a private hospital. We were inquiring about HMO stuff. They didn't really offer anything there, but I'm still in that inquiry as far as what I want to do. I might just try to go here and get stuff done and just see if I can get a full workup, visit a doctor, and just pay all out of pocket on that. So I think that might be what I do. So stay tuned for that. But I hear you with Cebu. But I think there are other options too, Lowell, that you could look at. Some of these bigger cities, Iloilo might be another option. I think there's some really good healthcare around there if you weren't looking for a bigger city. But you're right. Um, the Chinese hospital is nicknamed whatever, in Cebu, St. Luke's, and Manila are probably the standouts. And actually, Davao, I think, has some really good hospitals too. I didn't realize this, but Davao is a freaking major medical training area for doctors and nurses all over the world, man. When I was cruising through there, it was obvious. Like, there were all these Indian students that were there, going to school. So, yeah, I would think Davao would also have some really good medical uh, options that you could explore. If also too, Davao, I'd love Davao, man. I could see living there at some point. I kind of wish I went there instead of here, just because of then I could have transitioned into a smaller town. Uh, and just I want to check out Davao. But yeah, Davao looks good too. Yeah, you can get the province vibe also in Cebu. Advantage would be being close to Cebu or Mindanao, Talisay, but island is small, not room. But yeah, not much room for riding. Yeah, let's pull up the map. Um, yeah, that was my issue with Cebu. Is it's just the freaking whole island is just so packed and congested. Not the whole island, but you got to go an hour and a half south down to Karkar before you get out of any kind of traffic, and then you got to go up to Danao, another hour and a half north. You can get out pretty quick going up the Trans Central Highway, but that's the only road to kind of go out. I just prefer, as far as the island of Cebu, I really like this western coast, Toledo, Balamban, just some good areas out there. And you're not far from Cebu. You're whatever, an hour and a half or so. But you do need to kind of get almost that far away before you get out of kind of the city. Yeah, the entire island of Cebu, which is this island here, is, whatever. There's some good spots up in the mountains, look really nice. Yeah, it's just, I'm happy to be out exploring different regions, but for sure, there's some spots of it that aren't too bad and can see, living in those for sure. Not too bad. The only good thing in the U.S. right now is college football. Yes, it's Saturday, college football. Yeah, football's back. That's right. Yeah, I was kind of seeing a little bit. I can't remember what popped up in the news about the football, but yeah, I haven't really watched a lot of sports, admittedly, since I've been here in the country. I enjoyed football. I wasn't. I kind of moved away from college, from football in general. I can't even remember. It's been quite a while. I was watching a lot of hockey. I really enjoyed hockey, but there again, the sports in general I moved a little bit away from. And when I got here, I don't really watch much at all. If anything, I watch more Formula One, and then I like MotoGP now too. I'm getting in a little bit of that, but even there, I don't watch a ton. If anything on TV, we watch a lot of Netflix and Disney, and we watch a lot of YouTube and stuff. I'll watch stuff on content creation, just different gadgets and stuff like that. What else do we watch? Mary Rose likes cooking stuff. Um, watch Trying to remember what all we watch on YouTube now. Yeah, whatever. Just stuff here and there. You can paint your head and make it look like you have a helmet on. That's right. Paint a little thing on there. Yeah. So I have a really thick beard. I thought about letting my beard grow up, and I could just grow like a little handle like that. Like a little, that would look good, right? Banking, you go to 5 different banks, you get 5 different, yeah. That's right. Yeah, it's how it is out here, guys. You gotta love that kind of stuff, though. You gotta be like, all right, yeah, salamat kayo. And same thing goes with gear. You can be in one city and you got to wear a helmet. You can be in another city where they don't want you to wear a helmet. So it's just different on where you go. There's nothing consistent, throughout this country and in that way. And like I said, you gotta embrace that way of life here, because it is very much how things are. They're shifting and moving constantly, a lot like the plates below us. What's up, Jamie? My Buntag, brother. My Buntag. Hope you're good down there, right? Hope you're good. Hopefully get down your direction here in a little while. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So James says Mole Bowl put out a letter starting September 3rd. They will be strictly enforcing the helmet laws. Yeah. So just like that, right? Depending on where you're at. So prior to September 3rd, they weren't. You know what I mean? So you'll have areas and regions that are just different regarding the laws and stuff like that. So it just really does depend. When we were in Palmpon, if any of you guys saw my videos, we just wore bicycle helmets. And Mary Rose, as a passenger, didn't wear anything. So yeah, and that kind of brings me to another point that kind of came up in that video that, I mean, I've lived in Colorado. They don't have a helmet law there either, right? So I've lived in places that people, can choose to wear whatever. And for me, I don't feel comfortable riding a motorcycle without a helmet, but guys, that's me. That's what I choose. And and I invite us because this is another thing that's come up for me as I notice the cultural differences. As Westerners, we have a tendency to kind of be the world police, and we put our standards, our ideals, our ways of thinking on the people. And I just invite us is to just step back and be like, that's how I feel about a particular situation or particular thing. That doesn't necessarily make it the right way or the only way. And I think that's an important lesson for all of us to learn, and a lesson that I learned here in the Philippines. Well, maybe even before that, but but it is something that I'm reminded of living here is that we just need to be more accepting of people and let them choose what they want. If someone wants to not wear a helmet, whatever, that's their life. I don't like when Mary Rose was riding with me. What if you don't? That's your deal, man. You're a grown person. You can choose what you want to wear. As long as it doesn't impact me. If I told her, look, if I get a ticket for you not wearing a helmet, you're paying that ticket. That's your choice, not mine. you know, the less I think we try to be someone's parent, I think the better we are in life, right? Um, and yeah, just because that came up a lot in my last video. It's like with shoes and stuff like that. I'm like, you guys really just relax a little bit. Who cares what other people are doing? Me wearing flip-flops on a scooter has no impact, right? It shouldn't impact you or in any way. And if it does, take a look at your life and learn to chill out, right? I always find that interesting. And it has been something I think that as I've moved here and been around this culture who is very much they're not confrontational at all, and how we are as Westerners, we'll put our ideals and standards on you like that, and maybe even go to war over it, right? But this country they're not like that. They're really just kind of non-confrontational, and I dig that. They have a saying here, "Bahala na si Batman," and I dig that. Yeah, Cebu City is a city of no left turns, or no left turns between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. That's true. Or you get a ticket, right? Mm, yes. What's up, Richard? Yeah, how you guys doing, man? Yeah. Hope all's good up there. You guys are getting a little bit of weather up there. You know what? Let's bring up the map again. I want to show you guys something. Actually, what I'll do is I'll bring up another app here that I like to use, which is Zoom Earth. And actually, Richard introduced me to this, so appreciate you, brother. Yeah, let's share this tab instead. Oh, that was easy enough. Add to stage. So they just reminded me because those guys are up north here, and they've been getting a little bit of moisture, right? So what I'm sharing with you guys now is an application called Zoom Earth. Dude, guys, I think this is dirt cheap too. I pay for the premium service. I think it's less than $20 for that a year, maybe even $8 for the year. And really dig it. It's an app also too on your phone. One of the things I love about this app is it gives me notifications. So I can really easily track low pressure systems as they're moving in and out, which was a lot more critical when I was down here in Leyte. Where the hell is Letta at? Yeah, right here. But not as critical now that I'm in Butuan. I don't track them nearly as much. But those guys just got, when I say those guys, Richard and Odo, they're up in the zone up here. Those guys just got through a little bit of a wet area. Looks like there's another low pressure building off to the east. And that's kind of how these storms come in, guys. You can see them, right? And this is, we're starting the burn months, right? September, October, November, where these low pressure systems just start cranking in and they build off this coast and start moving in. So you really want to keep your eyes to the east and watch these storms. So shout out to you, brother. Thanks for introducing me to that app. I'm a big fan of it. Yeah, I like how it animates. I think that was one of your things that you liked as well, is how kind of the look of it. Yeah, just kind of playing it through here now, seeing August 30th. See how the weather kind of forms. A little bit of a low pressure system here too, building, moving to the east. So looks like you guys are going to get wet here again here soon. Yeah, yeah. We'll remove that. All right, cool. Yeah, so yeah, a little bit of a weather stuff that happens here. Hey, Chris. So I test rode the CB650R E-clutch. Interesting. So smooth. It'll be a game changer for heavy traffic, but sideline for now with the terrible cold. Yeah, there is a bug traveling around right now. I know a lot of people who are sick. Knock on wood, Mary Rose and I have actually been able to avoid that, but there are a lot of people sick right now in the Philippines. So, but yeah, CB650R E-clutch. That's interesting, brother. Yeah, I have not been on an e-clutch bike yet. My Duke had a quick shifter, which I absolutely loved, quick shifter, but I've not been on an e-clutch. That 650 looks like, I mean, that engine is phenomenal, right? Phenomenal engine. Yeah, that could be a good bike. I'm with you. I'm with you. That could be nice. Yeah, well, hope you get feeling better too. The other bike that has my eye is the Hornet, the 790 Hornet that Honda has. But although the 790 is not offered yet in the Philippines, the 500 is. Yeah, that's another bike that I have my eye on that would like. There's a here in Butuan, there is a CF Moto shop. Mary Rose and I were there and we looked at some bikes. Dude, I don't know if I can share this or not. There was an actual cruiser that had my eye. Freaking Odo's going to be all excited about that, being a rebel guy. Let me see if I can find this. They had, I can't remember the CF Moto's got a cruiser. Where am I at here? Okay, is that far back? Let's see here. CF Moto has a cruiser that I was looking at. It was the 450cc. Yeah, I think that's too far. Huh. I don't know where. Yeah, anyways, I must have passed it. I'm just trying to find the photo that I can maybe show you guys. Yeah, so anyways, they had a cruiser that looked really good. Maybe I could share it this way too. 1 second here. And let's see here. Let's get up the CF Moto webpage. CF Moto Philippines. Yeah, let's share this instead. And there we go. All right. That's, yeah, you got the NK, don't you, brother? But you got the 450. But yeah, let's look at motorcycles. Yeah, 650 MT. Oh, wow. 650. Okay. They had this, where's the cruiser at? 400 NK. Oh. All right. Let's go home. Yeah, I don't know where they're at here. Products. I think it was a 400cc. It's not the, is that the CT? Okay, maybe it is a CT. No, that ain't it. Sorry, guys. Having a hard time finding it here. Hold on. Motorcycle. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it. Anyways, CF Moto's got a shop here in the CF Moto's got a shop here in Butuan, which I'm excited about. They had a really cool cruiser. It looked great. I mean, it wouldn't be fun to kind of tour around now, but to pop through the town would be kind of fun. Yeah, some great bikes, man. I'm excited about EICMA coming up. We talked about that before, early November, I think, right? So I'm excited about that. What to do? My ATM withdrawal is only 500. This is Philippine bills. Yeah, I'm excited about the bikes that are coming out here, man. This bike segment is just the bike segment that's really good for the Philippines is just freaking exploding, man. This lightweight adventure stuff, these smaller displacement machines are just so perfect for this country. And thankfully, that market is just freaking exploding over the past 3 or 4 years. Just exploding. So really excited about all the bikes. Jimmy, what's up, brother? You did a cardio workup in Thailand and bought a 300 or 30-page result. Oh, okay, yeah. You did the cardio workup in Thailand and the 30-page result back to United States. And my cardiologist was impressed with her documentation. Yeah, brother. Yeah, I think you and I may have talked about this before. This has been something I've looked at. Yeah, I know Thailand's got some similar stuff too. So yeah, gosh, I would really want to find that here in the Philippines, and I don't know if it's there. I think I will. I think maybe I'll do both. Maybe what I'll do is I'll start with a private hospital here, get a doctor, go through a physical, try to get all the blood work up, see what I can find. If not, go to KL, Kuala Lumpur, and get it done there. Maybe just do both. And so here's one of my thoughts about doing it outside of the country is I could reset my visa. Like, let's say twice a year, I just do this. I do twice a year, I get a physical done in KL. I could reset my visa. Like if I do it 5.5 months, I don't have to I could exit the country before the 6-month requirement for the exit interview. I could just reset everything there, go out and do it, and have that be a reason why I do that. So that's kind of my other thinking too. So I got here, so I was in the United States in May. So I arrived in the country June 1st. So if I go November, I can kind of bypass that 6-month exit stuff. Not that it's the end of the world or anything to do that, but I'm just thinking that might be a good practice to get in and then use that as an excuse to kind of get out of the country, do medical stuff or whatever. So, but yeah, I kind of flip flop on it, trying to figure out what makes the most sense. I would love to find medical stuff here, given that I live here, but also wouldn't mind exploring and taking and looking at some of these other regions as well. Colorado NG Tech play in 10 minutes on ESPN. All right. Oh, they gotta love it. Formula One. Yes, Formula One is amazing, man. I'm really became a huge fan. The Netflix series kind of helped out the world, right? Get introduced to Formula One. I went to shout out to you, Kev, for taking me along on the trip to Japan, and we went to the Japan Formula One. That was amazing. Got to see that. So yeah, I'm digging it, man. I'm a fan for sure. Admittedly, I haven't watched much online sports in the past couple of years. Definitely not much since I moved to the Philippines, but yeah, a Fire Stick with IPTV would be useful for you, Chris. Very cheap, 1,600 channels. Ah, interesting, brother. Yeah, I appreciate that heads up. I'll have to look more into that. I heard thinking about the full workup, including cardio. At Chingu Hospital in Cebu. Price is very reasonable. All right. Yeah, nice, brother. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll have to look at that as well. Yeah. And Cebu is easy well, it's not easy to get to. Like you can hop. So here's the thing about Cebu. You know what? Let's just see if we can share that tab. I'll show you guys real quick. How cheap it is to fly here. Yeah. Let's add the stage. So as long as you book in advance, Butuan City to Cebu, so that's round trip. And let's bring up the calculator and we can convert that out. See, oh, calculator. So you're talking, so 2,853 pesos. Wow, that's 49 bucks, guys. 49 bucks round trip. Is that round trip? Yeah, round trip. Am I sharing this? Yeah, so that's how cheap even flights can be. That's freaking dirt cheap, man. When is this flight? So you're a little bit in advance, right? Maybe a month out. Yeah, let's see if we can do a date grid to show different prices. Yeah, 253. Super cheap. Is that showing too on the stream? Okay, good. Wait, 1 second. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, super cheap. Look, I mean, look at that, 2,800 pesos. As long as you go in advance, it could be cheap, but 3,000. So picking the right days and time is key. But you can get back to Cebu pretty cheap. You can also do a boat or a ferry. That's another way to get out there. So yeah, you can get a ferry back to Cebu, which is overnight. They leave nightly, whatever, Nasipit, I think whatever is the name of the port here. You can get a ferry over to Cebu. It leaves at whatever 7, 8 at night, gets in the morning, or you can fly, and that flight's got to be half hour if that. And then yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I can handle my visa stuff and everything here now. There really isn't a reason to go back to Cebu unless I'm leaving the country. But other than that, uh, yeah. But I appreciate that heads up on the full workup. Yeah, I'll have to look at that as well. Yeah, Mikey. Yeah, take care there, brother. Appreciate it, man. Hope you make it out soon. We have Helmet Francie here with signboards which say no helmet, no ride. Yeah. Yeah. Some areas are super strict. Some areas are chill, man. Like I said, I was surprised in bye-bye. Nobody wear a helmet. Nobody. We were freaking on the road and we were the only ones with helmets. And yeah, it was wild, man. It was wild. So it's just, it really is hit or like a lot of things. It's hit or miss depending on where you go. Yeah, man. Catch you some ball. Yeah. Well, yes and no, right? To each their own. I mean, I don't, like I was saying before, I don't try to dress people. Why would I bother? If someone wants to ride without a helmet, let them ride it. I don't take the stance like I need to, like for me personally, I am uncomfortable not wearing a helmet on a motorcycle. But that's my view. That doesn't mean that my view is the only view or the right view. And as a Westerner, it's so interesting that we have this way of being, that we think our way is the only way and it's the way that everyone should be. And, look, teach their own, right? I mean, people not wearing a helmet has zero impact on me in what I'm up to and what I'm doing. I let people make their own decisions because as I've discovered and found, if I try to subject my views onto somebody, it just leads to upset and chaos on both of our ends. Because what if they're like, nah, I don't want to? Well, and then you know what I mean? It's just this whole back and forth dynamic that is just, gosh, that's just it's a waste of our time and energy. We could be thinking and doing other things than trying to convince people that our way is the right way. That's my 2 cents. That's why I take it. If people don't want to wear a helmet, whatever, don't wear one. I don't know. I mean, there's so much more in life to worry about whether or not somebody wears motorcycle gear. Yeah, no, brother, I'm with you. I have been through a back of a car, and the only reason I'm in this chair today is because I was geared. I understand, but that's my view. And for me to try to convince the world what they should do, bahala na si Batman. Right? I mean, Just saying. Yeah. The excitement about helmets is funny. Yes, wear a flying brand and strap it is acceptable as a helmet. Yes, protective power is zero. I'm telling you, man. And one of the things that was interesting that might be worth a little more research is the fact that depending on the helmet you get, the weight of the helmet is can be a serious issue. I mean, broken necks are really common in some of these accidents because of you've got crash impact, but the freaking weight of the helmet is so much that it's snapping your neck. Your head isn't used to that much weight, not while riding, but in when you get jerked around or whatever like that. That could be a weight of the helmet can also be a danger, and not necessarily something that's protecting you, but causing more issue. Yeah, so exactly right. I don't know, man. To each their own, right? I think we should worry less about what others are doing and focus more on ourselves, right? Focus more on being the better version of ourselves that we can be. And who cares what freaking other people are up to, especially in that context where it doesn't necessarily impact us. It's just us worrying and focusing on what other people are doing and subjecting our views on how they should live their life, right? Think about that for a moment. Think about that. We're trying to project our views on how they should live. Man, that is just a complete waste of energy and thought, and especially if it has you have any kind of negative mood around that, right? I mean, think about that for a moment. Yeah, I've lived in Guam and Philippines. I've seen a few typhoons over the years. It's just part of the package. Yeah, man. This part of the region comes with a lot of it. What is it, right? The Philippines has more natural disasters than any other part of the world, I believe, right? When if you look at typhoons, earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, I think they're more prone to natural disasters than any part of the world. Now, you want to pick the region of that, right? That's why I really think Butuan is good in that sense. That as far as other regions, you kind of escape a lot of that, especially with typhoons, and earthquakes happen to be a little more south. Volcanoes, there isn't really super close proximity. Some of these regions, man, you're freaking sitting right on top of a dang volcano. And it is one of the reasons why I'm a little bit nervous about Bacolod is that we're a super active volcano that's right at the base of that. I mean, Bacolod sits the base of a volcano, right? So, but yeah, there's a lot going on here in this country when it comes to natural disasters, no question. Yeah, my radar app works really well, and it's free. Works worldwide. Your radar app, huh? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. For weather. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What are you using? Do you know? Yeah. Let me know what you're using. I've been just north of you in Chergao City for 19 years. Oh, nice, man. Nice, Jeff. And at some point, I wish I was there. I Sometime I wish there were more older. Yeah, but then I realize how much less stressful life is without all the strictly enforced rules. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes you wish there was more order. My bad, brother. One of these days I'll learn to read. But then I realized, yes, it is. It's the wild, wild west in a lot of ways. Right. It's one of the big differences between here and the West is there is a lot less order, chaos, and that can drive people crazy. Right? But then there's a lot of freedom in that too, right? There is, but there is a flip side of that coin, as you're pointing to here. It is too also too one of the things that I do like about being here. Yeah, babe, I'll do some more coffee. Thank you. Um, it is one of the things I'm with you. I absolutely love kind of the freedom that's here in a lot of ways. We are pretty oppressed in the West. We are pretty like guys, and even it just wasn't here in the Philippines. It was when I was in Japan too. I saw maybe two police officers the entire time I was in one of the biggest cities in the world. That's something that opened my eyes up. We are pretty oppressed. It's wild all the it's just man, it's just so incredibly regulated in the United States, from crossing streets to driving to all of it. Dude, I have never seen any type of enforcement sitting on the side of the road with a radar gun. I've never, that doesn't even happen here. There are ticket traps, right? The left turn is a ticket trap. There are similar situations where you've got local agencies trying to make money with tickets. So that does exist. But it's just weird, man, in the United States, where you look at the regulations, the rules, and are some of them there to protect us or hurt us like freaking sheep? And here it's just, there's, different. Yeah, I'm with you, Jeff. With you. Yeah, brother, we should get together. I like Sugar City. It's nice up there, man. I go up there sometimes. The E-clutch is essentially a quick shifter also. Yeah. I have not been on a bike with an E-clutch yet. I haven't, other than, my scooter, which is an automatic. And I like the scooter. That freaking ADV 160 is a really good machine, man. That is so good. I think I'll always have one of those bikes. I think I'll always have one. Just so I ride that damn thing every day. And if I had to pick between the two bikes, I would choose that ADV. If I can only have one bike, I would have that scooter. I just use it everywhere and anywhere, and you could tour on it. But yeah. No, I'm glad I've got the NX, and if I would get something like the Honda 650, whatever, I'd get rid of my NX. I don't need that, but I'll always have a scooter. Yeah, I'm excited to test out some of these newer bikes. That freaking cruiser though, that CF Moto cruiser looks sharp. Yeah. How much more expensive is living in Cebu City? I'm deciding between Cebu or Davao. Which do you think is better? Well, that's a hard question, Billy. It just depends on what you're after. Depends on what you're looking for in a city and a town. One thing that stands out right away is location. Let's see. We'll pull up a map here. Map. And yeah, because I think that's one of the biggest factors too. Well, there's several things. Add the stage. So when you look at, okay, good. Just making sure I'm sharing the right tab. I'd map up a couple of spots here. So when you look at the Philippines, right, Cebu is definitely centrally located. So when you're talking about Cebu versus Davao, that is a factor because you can get to anywhere and everywhere being in Cebu, by boat too, by ferry, which is super nice. Because my travels around Cebu have not been by plane hardly at all. I've been mostly by boat. So Cebu makes it easy for that. You can get around a lot of this region super easy by boat. Davao, not so much. You're going to be traveling by plane because Davao is way down here. To get a boat anywhere, you're coming out and around. It's a big part of that region. So boat travel isn't nearly as effective there, but plane travel would be. But if you're just looking about city, day-to-day life and living, another factor would be foreigners. There are a lot less foreigners in Davao than in Cebu. So if you're looking for a city that has less foreigner impact, the Davao would be your option. But Cebu is great too. Cebu, as far as cost of living between Cebu and Davao, I think they're relatively similar. I think Davao might be a little bit cheaper. The thing about Davao, though, is you're going to need transportation there. Probably not initially, but you're going to need transportation. So that's a cost factor. You can save some bucks getting out of the city a little bit, but you're going to need transportation. Versus Cebu, you can plant yourself right in this business park or IT park, get out even a little bit, and you can still get by without transportation. So that would be a factor too. It just depends, brother, what you're looking for. Just depends. They're going to be closer. You could get, like I said, you can get cheaper costs in Davao, but you might add transportation expense to that. Yes, that 450 CLC bobber is exactly it, man. Dude, I love that bike. I love that bike. I saw that. Mary Rose and I were there. I saw that bike and I'm like, I kind of like it. And it wasn't that much either, man. I think it was in the 300,000 range, right? I don't think it was 400,000. I think it was cheap. So let's just say 350. Yeah, what's that? 6,000? Yeah, 6,000 US. Nice little bike, man. Nice little bike. First week of October, you'll have the CV650. Dude, that's nice. Are you gonna do the E-clutch? Oh, nice, man. Yeah, good for you, brother. Congratulations, man. Nice bike. Nice bike. I like it. I like it too. I wouldn't mind having a little naked bike. Fun little. My favorite bike was that Duke. That Hornet, that 790 Hornet though, that looks good too. Yeah, exactly. Are you gonna get the E-clutch? Yeah. Oh, so the E-clutch, wait, yeah, I don't think he's saying he's gonna get the E-clutch here or not. Anyways, it might be a comment or two down. All right, my coffee splashed me in my face. All right. I saw the 450 CLC the other week going to Batangas. We rode side by side for a couple minutes. Nice looking bike, right? That's up your alley, brother. Oh, hey, sweetie. Come say hi. Mayong buntag. Kumusta imong gabi?
I'm good.
Yeah? You sleep good? Are you kapoy?
Yeah, my hair is sore.
Your triceps are sore from the gym?
Yeah, I thought you. Okay, what's happening last night?
Do you want to come sit down? Or are you busy?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I will go breakfast.
I'm sure they want you to come sit down, but that's all right. Maybe come back a little bit. Yeah. What do we want for breakfast? Eggs and rice?
No, I have mine. You have yours.
Oh, that's right. Overnight oats? Yeah.
Yeah, your overnight oats. What you want? Overnight oats?
No, I won't eat on camera, as I think that'll drive these guys away, but I'll eat after I'm done. Cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for the coffee. I really appreciate that so much. So cool, right, gentlemen? Just incredible. Just incredible. The lives we get to live here, just amazing. Freaking love it. Some people comment on a little bit of that kind of stuff, right? Like I think there was a video, my house video, where I asked her to open the door and turn the lights on because I had a freaking camera in my hand. You can't see the camera, right? Part of the technology, but some people got really upset like that. I was like, why do you ask her to do stuff? It's different here. Same thing with like the helmets and projecting our views and stuff. It's just different here. And Richard knows, Odo knows. It's the Filipinos just want to nurture and take care of. It's part of their wiring. Like us men, we want to have a purpose and protect and provide. The Filipino women here want to nurture and take care of. And these are general things, right? And not everyone is wired like that, but just bringing me coffee and just so sweet. Man, we're just so lucky out here. Odo and Richard, the rest of you guys that are here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, dude, don't be surprised if especially if YouTube starts making me money, man. I'll be buying bikes. Yeah. So many have reviewed. I want to get a little bit more. Freaking love this aircon. It's really nice. All right. So many have reviewed the E-clutch and all have loved it, but I realized when I'm in heavy traffic, dude, it's so nice. My clutch, yes, it's hand cramped. Yeah, I'm with you. My clutch gets hand cramped too when I'm riding. Yeah, no, E-clutch would be great. That's what I like about a quick shifter. It kind of bridges that gap where you can still shift if you wanted to. But yeah, no, I'm down, man. Yeah. I think you're right on. I think an E-clutch would be fun and whatever. We're still riding, brother. Does it add an element of I mean, you're a full-on mechanic, right? But does it add a mechanical element that would be a negative? What do you think about the E-clutch as far as that side of it? Is it an easy system that you can work on? Or does it add it where you're going to the service, right? I mean, this guy's a freaking full on like whatever, F-16 mechanic, right? So he knows what the hell's going on. Exit every 6 months. Yeah, brother. Something I was considering. And yeah, I look at that a little bit, right? As I'm coming into, so I was here for the country for whatever, a couple years, and then left back to United States. And now June 1st, I came back and, maybe I get out for a little bit, go check out KL and do some health stuff. Maybe go to Bangkok just to get out, right? Not long trips, just do every 5.5 months. I don't know, man. Just something I'm considering. Yeah. Yes, this is a big advantage. I ride the CV 650. My brother, yeah, I remember he just bought it a while back. He's back to the United States, so I take care of his. You take care of his bike. Freaking lucky dog. That's a nice machine, man. An incredible engine too. Really good engine. Really good engine. Yeah. Hmm. You know what? Maybe I just want to drink it out of that. Hold on, guys. Hmm. Yeah. Really good engine. Excited about that. What's the Versus 650? Same engine. Ooh, that's hot. Thanks, babe. Yeah. Yeah, good for you on helping your brother take care of his bike. You rode the Dyna for years. How much of an adjustment to switch to an 8? Yeah, brother. I think you get used to it, though. Yeah, you'd get used to it. Great machine. But I think you said you're going to Cebu. Brother, I wouldn't get a bike in Cebu. I would not get a bike in Cebu. I just wouldn't. Unless you get a bike to just get out of Cebu, then yeah, but the traffic is a little bit horrendous. Especially early on when you first get to the country. I wouldn't ride in Cebu. Outside of Cebu, sure, why not hop on a bike, get on it? But I wouldn't ride in the cities. It's just it's really different here and can be dangerous. And yeah, but outside the city, yeah, get on a bike, go ride, man. Go ride. You'll love it. Doesn't matter if it's a scooter or not, man. You'll love it. ADV 160, you can get moving on that bike. You get moving. And then it's just fun, dude. You're riding. The driving speeds are super slow. I hardly get above 50 miles an hour. Hardly ever. It's super slow. You'll love it, brother. Yeah, get out and ride, man. Get out and ride. I like your yeah. Teach their own attitude. Absolutely, man. I think as humans, we need to. Most of us need to embrace a little bit of this and stop projecting our ideals and standards onto people. In particular, when it really just doesn't have any impact on us, right? That is one of the big lessons that I've had. I mean, it's a way of thinking I've had for a while, but moving out here has just reinforced that, or just kind of blown that up, where I've seen more of that type of way of thinking, because the Filipinos don't do that. They don't. They do not project their ideals and standards on you, at least to you, admittedly. They judge you for sure, but it's not a confrontational society or culture by nature. So, but us Americans, we're going to tell you, hey, you should be wearing shoes. You should be wearing a helmet. All that stuff is very Western. Projecting our standards and ideals onto others because we think it's right. Whatever, man. There's no such thing as right. There isn't. There's no such thing as wrong. It's all subjective. And when we can allow people to just be, right, and then just, there's better things to waste our time on. And I don't know, even that's subjective, right? But it just, you look at that energy, you look at all that is, it's just upset, it's chaos, it's like saying football is the best sport in the world, right? Whatever, and then arguing that, it's ridiculous, or whatever it is, or jazz music's the best music, or, anyways, too fun, man, too fun. Life's crazy. And I love the journey, right? I love the exploration of life and what it is to be human. Man, we are all figuring this crap out as we go. We are, man. We are all figuring this out as we go. What it is to be a human, what it is to be alive, what it is to be, real, right? We are all figuring this crap out. That doesn't change from the day we're born to the day we're gone. You know, it's a constant journey, a constant inquiry of what it is to be human. Love it, man. That's the kind of crap that lights me up, right? Yeah. I think besides being about what others wear in a helmet, we should also worry about wearing pink underwear. Freaking auto. Oh, there it is. There it is. Exactly. We need to be worried about the color of underwear that people are wearing because pink is the only color we should be wearing, guys. Oh, amen. Amen, man. Freaking dig that right there. That's exactly it. That is exactly it, isn't it? And think about our lives, gentlemen. Think about our lives, ladies, too, whoever's here. We waste entire lifetimes on this kind of crap. You know, we do. Oh, it's just so powerful to think about it, right? Really powerful to get related to the ways we think about rules and regulations, standards and ideals in this context, and then figure out how to laugh about it. I love that kind of crap, gentlemen and ladies, whoever. I really do. It just lights me up because then it opens your mind up to different ways of thinking and being and relating to the world around us and to others. You know, we can let that crap go and just relate to people, how they are, what they're up to, and in the moment, right? And how they are like in this second. Yeah, really cool. Really cool. Yeah, your house is based at Tal Volcano. I know. I mean, that scares the crap out of me. It is one of the reasons why I would not live in southern Manila. I just couldn't do it. No way. And that's a freaking massive volcano. I think that damn thing's a super volcano. That whole freaking lake is a crater. Anyways, man. How do from Virginia? How do, Scott? Hope all's good there, brother. Hope you're good, man. I think my family started in Virginia. I'm trying to remember where at. You know, we came over pretty early, United States. You know, first couple of boats. One of my ancestors was Paul Revere. That's why I like the channel, right? Let you guys know what's coming. But yeah, we started in Virginia, homestead out there. I can't remember where. And it also too, it's kind of funny because I was talking to somebody back home. I said, I'm doing the same thing my ancestors did. I'm hopping on a boat and getting out of here, man, because I need a better place to live. And you know, that is kind of the moral of this channel and who I am, is just getting out, man, and getting a better place, living in a better environment, right? Not so much escape, but running towards something, not away. That's how I like to look at that. But yeah, we started in Virginia, and we're all immigrants too, right? If you think about that, we all immigrated to the United States, to the West, to North America. So yeah. Oh no, Philippines has no disasters. It is a disaster. The best which happened to me in my life. Amen, man. Oh, I'm with you. I love it out here. I do. I just, you know, but this is also too something, gentlemen, we have to be mindful of too, is what do we do? Because I was going to say, what I love is the time that I have, right? The time that I have to do what I want to do in life. Like, I'm not married to a corporation, to a company. Like, my life is no longer about work. And that's an adjustment. And that's what I love about the Philippines, that it gives me financial freedom. It gives me the space to exist without having to be married to a company or a corporation. But then again, you have to look at, all right, what do we want to do with this time, right? You know, what is it that we're up to? So, you know, which is critical and key. Mary Rose and I love going to the gym and working out and running. We've gotten back into that. We love chilling at coffee shops too. But yeah, yep, I'm with you, brother. I love who I get to be out here. I enjoy your shopping video. Oh, thanks, Scott. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, no, I wanted to show you guys what grocery stores, because that was the thing for me. You know, what does a grocery store look like? How do you get your foods and stuff like that? Can I get things that I'm used to here, and of course, how much of stuff. No, absolutely. Those are all things that was, like I said, one of the first thing I did when I got to the Philippines is went to a grocery store and take a look at what it was. Don't feel I don't feel oppressed. Yeah, good for you. Well, hopefully nobody does, right? No matter where you're at, right? Yeah, no, hopefully you don't. In the expressway around Manila, they introduced radar guns, I heard. All right, they're catching up. Yeah, they are starting to get the gun. I've never seen any type of speed trap ever. I don't even know. I hardly ever see speed signs. I mean, they're there, but hardly ever do I see a speed sign. The fear of being what the speed sign in is like dead on the side of the road because you've ridden way too fast and a dog ran out in front of you or a trike or whatever. The speed is set by your absolute survival. Um, yeah, the fear of being in jail or arrested in other countries is much greater than in the United States. The fear of being in jail or arrested in other countries. I don't know, right? Like that's an interesting comment because I feel like the United States is like a police state. Like there are freaking police everywhere. Like I have a bigger fear of being arrested and put in jail in the US than I do in this country. That's for sure. Just because you don't see that crap here. And there, it's in your face nonstop. There are police, there are rules, regulations everywhere. Yeah, I don't know, right? I see something a little different, but subjective, right? Not necessarily truth. In the United States, you can be arrested. Yes, yeah. In the U.S., maybe we're saying the same thing. I'm just not quite understanding. In the United States, you can be arrested for even a minor felony and just be let go. Back in the 50s and 60s, or if you're police, yeah, but the fact that you even get arrested is so much more common there. The fact that you get pulled over by cops and that you ride around, that you even walk or ride around, and that you see police is my point. The police are everywhere there. They're nowhere here. It's a complete 180. Same with Japan. They are nowhere there. Guys, we went to the Formula One event, an event with what, 500,000 people, 250,000 people? I don't know. No police, zero. Right? I mean, that's the difference, Scott, that I'm talking about. The police are everywhere in the United States, at every door, at every exit, at every junction, everywhere. Japan, zero. That's the difference. We walked in, they ain't searching us, right? That's the difference. It's just wild to me to see that. Wild. Eye-opening. They don't kill each other here. They're not running people over. They're not blowing people up. They're not out with guns and whatever. They have all that stuff. They just don't do it. It's just weird to me. And yeah, and that's a whole nother area, right? As far as the culture and, whatever. It's just so different. Yeah, really wild to see it kind of the differences in that area between the two cultures. And like I said, not just the Philippines, all of Japan, when I went, it's not a violent culture like we are. We're violent, man. We are violent. Yeah, is Mandalia a good place to settle? Cheaper than Cebu, but do you need a motorbike? Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. Mandawi would be a better place. Well, not necessarily better, but it would be a place that you could be in Cebu, less foreigners. And would you necessarily need transportation? No. You could get around anywhere in Cebu really easy with Grab and with the taxis. The taxis there in Cebu too they don't have the problems like where Richard's at up in Manila, where they have a big scam. The problem I have with taxis in Cebu is you got to make sure you have change. That's why I like Grab. Is if you can do it all electronic, you could link your credit card, you could link your Grab, your Gcash, whatever to grab, and you don't need money. That's what I. Plus, you don't all too need to give them directions. But the taxis are good in Cebu. Grab's great in Cebu. Moto taxis are great, and you can get out of those bubbles and save a couple bucks. You're right on, Billy. You're right on there. Yeah, for sure. E-clutch. I love it. Already told sales guy I would be voiding my warranty about 3 months. Yeah, full exhaust, unrestricted intake, higher flow. Yeah, all right, good for you, man. I'll be interesting to I'll be interested to see what you think of that bike, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I need to get up your guys' way. I need to get up there and ride. I do. Yeah. I saw the Honda X. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the Honda X ADV 750. Phenomenal machine. The one problem that I have with that dang bike is the pricing. It's a weird price point. You can get motorcycles for a lot less, but I'm with you. The Honda 350 is also coming to the Philippines, but that also too, the pricing around that gets you to where it might make more sense to get a full-on motorcycle. But I don't know, right? All it's all factored in there, all things to look at. But the ADV 160, great machine, dig it. Yeah, the 350 is going to be available in the Philippines. I think it already is available. The X750, that thing is a beast. That looks fun. So many great bikes in this segment, man. So many really good bikes. I noticed Pinoys are more touchy and affectionate than other Asians. Seem to be more cold. Billy, I think you're right on there. I think my experience in Japan is they were very distant. They were very respectful. I think you're right on there. The Filipinos can be like Mary Rose. She's very touchy, that kind of way. So yeah, no, I think you're right, man. I don't know about the Vietnamese or the Cambodia. What do you call someone from Cambodia? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about the other countries, but the Filipinos are definitely more touchy feely, clingy, that kind of way for sure. Yep. Scott, you're so much nicer here than other Xbox I've seen. I love that. Oh, so much nicer to her. Yeah, well, I have respect for Mary Rose. I mean, she's a human being on this planet, right? So yeah. Oh, and the thing, Scott, too, that I learned in my other relationships too, that is a factor in this, is that we take on a mentor role with these young adults, right? I mean, Mary Rose is 22 years old. Come on, man. Think back when we were 22, how much a grip of life we had. I mean, we're all still figuring this out as we go, right? But I mean, she's a sharp girl. She's got great character, a great foundation. She's developing who she is in this planet, right? As she goes forward. So, but just being patient, and doing that, I have a lot of respect for her as a human and what she's up to. She's a sharp girl. She put herself through college. She comes from a family of province living, and got herself registered, enrolled, and all this stuff through college, and graduated with a 4-year degree. That takes a lot, man. That takes a lot. So I have a lot of respect for who she is and what she's accomplished in her time in her life. Yeah, it's the best life, man. Filipino are the best women for men. Beautiful people. Troy, I think it's a great. It is. We line up well with Filipinos. We really do, man. We line up really well, and I don't know about the other. I think we line up better probably than Thai. It's just a good match in so many ways for what we as Western men really want and are after. So I'm with you, man. And just you're saying too, the people, just the whole culture is it lines up well. Yeah, my brother has been married to Philippine for 25 plus years. They have a wonderful marriage. I agree. I know it's interesting. One of my lifelong friends, Sean, shout out to you, brother. You probably don't watch or around, whatever, but whatever. He's got people have their lives, right? It doesn't. But anyways, his brother, Dave, is married to a Filipina. And when I moved over here, this has been a guy that I've known since I was in my 20s. And I didn't know his wife was Filipino. just because I was more of Sean friends and his older brother's friend. But anyways, when I moved out here, Dave reached out and said, "Hey, man, we're in Mindanao. We've got a farm out there, and my wife's from the Philippines." And I'm like, "Yeah." And they same thing. They've been married forever. He was in the Navy, and so yeah, no, it's a good it's a good match for us. If the e-clutch just fails, it just reverts to manual. The e-clutch just has a couple of servos and sensors. Yeah, yeah. It's a Honda. Yeah. Not really concerned. No, you're right, man. Freaking Honda is the engineering masters, aren't they? Japanese in general. That was so obvious when I went over there too, that they're so incredibly engineered. The freaking high speed trains, man, amazing. Yeah. The GB350. How did I like the GB350? Did I see that bike? That bike rings a bell. Who makes that GB350? Let's take a look at that. GB350. Oh, is that a Honda? Okay. Yeah, no, looks like a little sharp bike. Yeah. I like it. I dig it. Is that air cooled too? That might be. Yeah, I see it out here. I think that's it. I think that is a single cylinder air cooled bike, isn't it? It'd be great. Great bike. Dig it. I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan of two wheels. Dig it. Maybe a 650. What are we talking about? Scott. Yeah, no worries. Just looking, I was scrolling up through your comments to see if I could track down the 650. Your comment about attitude projecting is correct in my mind. Yeah, right. There's no such thing as right or wrong, but I'm glad we line up. Yeah, no worries, man. It's all fun. The new Hornet looks rad. I'm with you, man. I read the crap out of my ADV 160 here in Bohol. Yeah, nice, dude. Nice. I love it. ADV, I mean, yeah, I would like the 790 Hornet and my ADV 160, but see, the problem with hooligan bikes is you ride like a hooligan, and that 790 just screams trouble, man. Screams trouble. I mean, you get ripping on that with a quick shifter riding up some of these canyons, and the roads aren't the dogs, the people, the other traffic. They're not used to things moving that fast, so it's a little bit of a recipe for disaster. They also call it live and let live. Seem to be forgotten by now. Yep. So true. So true. Yep. No contact apprehension using cameras in certain areas. I'm looking forward to leaving the U.S. Leaving all the U.S. too. Yep. And the life in the rural Philippines is the life I plan. I'm with you, Scott. Same. One of my favorite things to do is we just chill and watch the freaking sunset. We go down the street, we pull out our chairs, we'll sit there for an hour and just watch that sunset. When's the last time we've done any of I know in my life in the West, I didn't do that kind of crap. Sit and watch sunset for an hour. Yeah, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then I get up and do something else. But, I hear you, man. It's nice. Life slows down out here. I dig it. One thing about living at the volcano, you won't know when it erupts. It's true. Or yeah, you won't know, especially when you're that close to that freaking super volcano. I have an old family story that we are descended from Francis Scott Key. Oh, okay, yeah. The records were burned during the Civil War. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. Nice. Good for you, man. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm very much like my ancestors. I've gotten out. I'm getting on the boat. I'm gotten out. Are you picking up the side just because you're living in the Philippines, or have you been studying it? Yeah, James, I'm picking up because I'm living here, and I feel like speaking a little bit of the local language is important. It just shows respect, and so I mean, granted, we don't have to be completely fluent, but yeah, I'm learning the local language just because I wanna be a lot more fluent. I want to be respectful and say hi, good morning, good afternoon, that kind of stuff. And I'm developing that language app just because it helps me too. And I figured you guys can use it too. So that'll be on the Patreon page. You guys can check that out and check out the language app. And that's all free, guys. You don't have, I mean, yeah, you could support the channel and subscribe to monthly stuff, but you could just join for free. It doesn't cost anything to join the page. So feel free to check it out. I did leave some comments on the shopping bit. Yeah. All right. All right. Good. I'm still catching up in those comments. That came out later last night, but I try to get to all the comments in my videos for sure. I have burned out. I have burned out light. Okay, my replacement hasn't arrived yet. I was passed by a cop car with flashing lights 4 times daily, but I was passed. Yeah, I never got stopped. In the U.S., you'd have been stopped on the first day. It's so true. So true, isn't it? Very different here in that way. It's so interesting. It was one of the things that has stood out to me, and not just here in the Philippines, but all of Southeast Asia, the lack of police. Yeah, really, really interesting. And then just everything that goes with that, right? Really, really wild. Yeah, I'm with a Honda, but with the X80V is over. That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, more expensive than my Rebel, less power and torque. Yeah, and I think that's kind of one of the things that they're looking at too with this market, and probably why they've released the 350 ADV here in the Philippines, just because the price point makes all the difference. How the bike's being priced compared to other models, and as we've talked about a lot, this lighter weight segment is just erupting in the most recent years, which I'm just so grateful for. I love how this bike segment is just exploding. So many more bikes in this lightweight, middleweight segment that wasn't around 5 years ago. The cop is just making his presence known, but I've never seen him stopping anyone. Yeah, my wife and I have been together 19 years. Yeah, good for you, brother. Yeah, good for you, man. Yeah, now married for 45 years to my first and only wife. Yeah, good for you, man. I'm still alive. Yeah, right. Good setup here in the Philippines for sure. Hey, Greg. Hello again. We're still in Valencia. All right. Yeah, talking about driving, or if you call it at times, I think there could be a bit better education on how to be considerate. Yeah. As far as the driving, talk about driving, or if, yeah, 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 I guess I'm not quite connecting. Yeah, and how to be considerate with the transportation. And we're going to be through your area too, Greg. Probably early October. We'll be in Dumaguete and Valencia. We don't know the exact time or any of that stuff, but we should be around your area. Yep. Okay. Jerry, hey Chris, I finally caught you on a live. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for all your awesome videos, Salamakayo Kuyo. Appreciate that, brother. I'll be going to the Philippines early next year. Keep up the great work. Yeah, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I hope all is good there. And Winnipeg, go Jets. Yeah, appreciate it, man. No, thank you. Salamat kayo. What's up, Di? I hear you giggling back there. My LDR is 34. I'm a bit older, and I couldn't see dating someone with less life expectancy. It was a harder search, but our conversations are much deep, at least for me. Yeah, your LDR is 34. Okay. Yeah. No, man. The 18 range and date it is something that's also really unique here to the Philippines. I mean, Mary Rose is whatever, half my age, right? She's 22, and I'm, how old am I now? 54, 55 here in a couple months. So it is a different dynamic here, guys. It really is. And something that we're just not used to, and something that, unless you've lived here, it's hard to kind of explain. But one of the factors in the dating here is the no divorce. So, there's not a huge older dating market here because, they just don't have divorce. And the likelihood of meeting someone at 40 who's never been married is it's lower. So it is one of the dynamics. It's why you do see a lot of 20 or 30-year-olds on the dating sites, just because of that factor. So, yeah, it's just different here. But whatever, teach their own, right? Yeah, I mean, I would, if you would have asked me 5, 10 years ago, would you be dating someone in their 20s? I'd be like, heck no. It would make me uncomfortable. Admittedly, it would. And it was something that when I got here um, that I was an adjustment for me. And now dating Mary Rose, the age that doesn't really come up. Like I don't think about it much at all. Sometimes the way she thinks and her life experiences are the signs of someone who hasn't lived 50 something years, but that's whatever. That's not necessarily a bad thing in some ways. And some ways it teaches me to think newly and differently because of those differences and her new way of looking at things. So yeah, man, it's an adjustment. But I'm excited to be dating. I'm excited to have a great partner. We're learning and growing. Like every relationship, it's got its challenges, but we work through it. She's a sharp girl. Like I said, she's figuring stuff out. But yeah. Hello, Joey. Mayong buntag, magandang umaga. Kumusta imo adlaw? She's back there. Learning the local culture is a requirement for me. Yeah, absolutely. It should be a requirement, I think, for all of us, brother. I think if we're all coming here, it's important. In particular, it's important to know what it is to be respectful and disrespectful to the local culture, right? Know ways of being that are suitable for here. Yeah, regardless where we go. Yeah, I went to Mexico, learned some Spanish, playing on France and learned some French. Absolutely. Show some respect to the local culture you're visiting. Brother, amen. Importante kayo. Yes. Yes. Or how do you, importante, I can't remember how to say a lot in Spanish. My Spanish is slipping to me. Muy hable muy poquito español. Yeah, I used to speak Spanish. I should speak a lot more Spanish than I do, but yes. Yeah, no, you're right on, brother. You're right on. Let's go Jets. We got some football going on. Oh yeah, the Winnipeg Jets. Brother, I love hockey. I love hockey. I love it. Admittedly, I have not watched a lot of hockey since I've over the past couple of years, but I love that sport, man. I fell in love with hockey in the late '90s with Mark Messier and the New York Rangers in '94 when he's like, "We will win Game 6" or whatever. I love and just I love that it's best out of 7. I just love it. One of my upsets regarding NFL football is that you got one game, and that's also too one of the things that is great about it, right? You got one game, you show up, you win or you lose, you go home. But the thing I love about hockey is these guys, man, they got a best out of 7 playoff series, and they're just freaking hammering it, man. So I love hockey, man. I love it. And living in Denver, I lived in Denver, Colorado during the '90s, and the freaking Colorado Avalanche. Freaking dude, we had Timu Solani and Paul Correa on our freaking fourth line. I mean, come on, man. Freaking Raymond Bork show up to win a cup. Peter Forsberg, Joe Sakic, Patty Waugh. Just an incredible. We were the freaking Yankees of freaking hockey for a good decade, and until they striked and put in the salary cap, and that ruined all that, right? But that was an amazing time to be in hockey and to be in Colorado. Freaking loved it, So yeah, I do love hockey, but admittedly, I have not watched much hockey in the recent years. Y'all's experience with the police is so much different than mine. I grew up very rural, yep, and lived in Northern Virginia, DC. Now I'm back in the mountains. Yeah, only got pulled. Yeah, good for you, brother. And I think that's the life in the United States that I wish I had. I mean, I lived in rural South Dakota as a kid, but admittedly, I'd been in more of the cities just because of my profession and work and trying to survive in the country. So you're right. A different living dynamic in the United States because I'd been around mostly city living. I was an IT professional, work in the legal industry. So that's kind of, you're right. But Midwest farms, I would love that. Mountain regions, would love that. Joey, do you think a 22-year-old Filipina and a 44-year-old American man is okay to be in a relationship? Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like we talked about before, the age dynamic here isn't as much of a factor. They don't like outside Filipinos. They'll judge and look at you and assess it, but it's more of like, is she super poor and provincial and stuff like that? That's where they get a little bit judgy. But the main difference there though is they're not going to confront you on it. They're not going to say anything. They're not going to let you know anything about that. It's a very non-confrontational society versus Westerners, which, dude, they're gonna give you a disgusted look. They may even say something to you. That's kind of some of the big differences between the cultures here. They may not approve, but they're not going to say anything to you until they get to know you. Then they're like, yeah, whatever. So do I think that age gap difference is a problem? No. I mean, as long as you come as the older person, you want to come to it with a right mindset of mentoring this human being in their life, right? Because they are younger. They don't have the experiences. They don't have that. And that also works well too with this dating dynamic here, where it is more, more back 50, 60 years ago, kind of like our grandparents' generation was, right? So, no, I mean, done with respect, done with integrity. There's not a problem with that, right? As the older human being, you're going to want to take on that mentoring role, though, as we discussed. But yeah, nothing wrong with that. What's up, Michael? Good morning, brother. How's everything going with you? I hope you're, yeah, coming with your Spanish, brother. I've got that. I'll send you a link later on to my language app. Would love for you to take a look at it, given who you've been professionally throughout your life. So I'll send you that here coming up. Just been busy here. Hope all is good with you. Hope all is good with your wife, and hope she's feeling good. Congratulations coming up. I hear expect often complain about the lack of deep conversations. It is hard to do that in a language which is not your first language. Try to learn the local language, and you'll see the difficulty. Yeah, no, and you're spot on, Odo. You're spot on. It can be one of the challenges that you can have, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily see that a problem with Mary Rose. Maybe it's because she's got an engineering degree and she's a sharp girl. Um, I don't know. But I have heard others have that as well. And like you say, though, I don't know who's to blame for that, right? And agree. Maybe learn some of the local language to see if you can to bridge that gap where you can have some deeper understanding, some deeper conversations. You're right on, Odo. I'm 59, but like my brother, our age gap is 18 years. Um, I wish all the success and joy in the relationship. Yeah, 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 absolutely, man. Yeah, and again, we go back to just letting people live, right? Letting people live and doing what's right for them, you know? Yeah, Lowell, gotta go take care there. Yeah, thanks for your thoughts. Yep, God bless. You as well, Lowell. Take care there, brother. Hope you make it out soon. Yep. Oh yeah, I remember all that. I was cheering Colorado back then. Yeah, sorry no more. They're in the same division as the Jets now, rivals. Admittedly, I haven't watched much hockey. I just haven't. I haven't been watching much at all. So, and I know that I couldn't even tell you who won the last couple of cups. Although I think Edmonton's been around, right? I mean, just some brief stuff, but as a fan, I love the sport. I really do. I love, just I do. I love the playoffs of it. As far as playoff sports, I don't know if there's anything better. Again, that's completely subjective, right? But yeah, definitely, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. Yeah, if you look at my thumbnail, I spent a lot of time in the mountain getting my Zen. Yes, the photo is 90 minutes west of my house in Appalachian Mountains. Gorgeous, brother. Yeah, I spent some time in Kentucky. My son was born in Richmond. So yeah, dude, I love the Appalachian Mountains. Gorgeous out there. Yep, beautiful. Back in the day when I was stationed in Arizona, I got clocked to doing 165 and at 55 out in the desert. He didn't catch me, but found me later, no ticket, 19 and dumb. Well, now you'd be in jail, right? And here you'd be dead. So there's no cop. There's no cop to give you tickets. So you ain't gonna have a problem there. But yeah, it's funny, man. Age gap in the Philippines is, yeah, it's not a real issue at all. They don't want to take advantage. They don't want to take advantage of your partner. Again, respect, understanding, and love all you need. Yeah, brother. And look, there are scammers out there. There are people who are looking to take advantage of the situation. And, we just have to have our head on us, right? And see kind of what's going on. You can get taken aback by dating, a young, beautiful Filipina. You can, and, you just got to make sure you got the right mindset on, look at the character of the person and then go from there. But yeah, it's mutual respect. Absolutely. If when I do find someone not going to date, I'd rather have someone closer to my age, 56, like in their 40s, open to any age. Yeah, I mean, I just have an open mind, Jerry, and you're right on. That's the right mindset to come, and that's the mindset that I had when I got here. Like I said, if you would have told me a couple years ago that I'd be dating a 22-year-old girl, I'd be like, no way, man. There's just no way. I don't have anything in common. I would feel uncomfortable. But getting out here and then being in this world and this dynamic, it's just different. It is. It's just different. And thankfully, it's different. The dating is different. And it's not that you can't find an older, more age appropriate woman. You can definitely find that for sure. They're there for sure, Brian. You can find that. It's just when you get out here, things can be a little different. Yeah, yeah. I'll burn up the Google Translate, learning Tagalog. Well, I've got a language app, man. I've got one coming. Right now, it's definitely in the works, but I'll have Tagalog also in there as an option, so you can learn Tagalog or Bisaya, and those are the two that I'll have right away. And eventually, uh, I'll probably have Wade and Alongo also. I'll have probably the top 5 dialogues here in the Philippines in that language for us to learn. Yeah, Kentucky. Yeah, brother. Richmond, Kentucky. One of the lifelong friends that I talked about earlier. He's from Berea. Yeah, I've been familiar with Kentucky. Gorgeous, right? Love the Smoky Mountains. Love the Appalachian Mountains. Tennessee, beautiful all through there. I'm a fan. Yep, fan. Yep. When you get there, just go do things like you do. You'll find a good partner, share your interests. Amen. Yeah. And I think Old Dog has said this a lot too. Don't worry so much about the dating before you get out. I know it's hard not to, because we all want to find someone to help us transition over in here, but just get here, guys. Just get here. Live your life, do your thing, and then find the girl and the things that you're interested in and doing. I know that makes sense, but it is so true. Um, the ability to find a girl is not very hard. Or trying to find a date or a partner out here, it is easy. It is easy. Trying to find one that's a good fit and a match, that's another dynamic. That's actually kind of why too I like Facebook dating. I think Facebook, with their money and their resources, they really have some good algorithms to line us up with good partners. I think Facebook dating it's a little bit of hard to get set up initially, but once you get set up, I think that works well. But just get out here, brother. Go to church, whatever, and meet a good girl. If you are looking for a wife or a girlfriend, there is probably no better place on the planet than right here, than in this country. I mean, seriously, guys, it just is. I think it just lines up for that. That's what they want. They want a partner. They want a companion. They're faithful. They're loyal. They're, just all the things that we want in a partner, man. But so you're right on, Scott. You're right on. I'm 65. May is 27. Yep, 30-year age gap. Having our first child. Yeah, and you're having your first child. Yeah, the first for both of us. Yeah, life is what you make it. I mean, these are the stories, guys, that I absolutely love. This guy and a lot of the guys that I've met here, they're just reinventing themselves. Lives that, he's 65, never had any kids. Here he's out here. I've met this guy. He's a fabulous human being. He's out here creating a whole new life for himself, bringing kids in this world, just living it. Just living the life that he didn't have. And it's just so beautiful, man. Hats off to you, brother. Really, really love. And I see guys like this everywhere. Really do. These are the guys to me that are just living it, right? They really are. I remember seeing this guy. I'll never forget. We were out. Mary Rose and I were doing the Samara Loop. This guy, I saw him earlier. He was in crutches and he had one leg, and I see him again later on, and he's with his wife, his beautiful baby. His baby is probably 3 months old, and you just speculate his life. He's a vet, and he has this amazing life over here now. Got a young, smiley, happy wife and baby over here, and that's what he gets here. I just love that, man. I just absolutely love that. Yeah, good for you, man. Amen. Yeah, thank you for your kind words, because I've been a boyfriend. He's 44 and been talking for almost 4 months now, and we'll be meeting each other soon, September 2nd. I'm petite but guapa, and he's, oh, okay, I get who you are now, Joy. Sorry if I didn't understand. Yeah. No, good for you. Yeah, he's 44. Yeah, no, good for you, and I hope that works out. Really do, right? Because, like I say, we're a good match in so many ways. What the Filipinos are looking for, what we're looking for, it really is, guys. It is a great match on so many levels, and really excited about that. And good luck to you. Yeah, hope that works out for sure. Yeah, good to know that life here. Yeah, get to know life here first before getting to know the girl. It's just hard, Odo, and I understand it. I mean, admittedly, I was struggling here in Butuan before Mary Rose got out here, and I had somebody, but it's just, I was getting skin taxed, I was getting ripped off, you know. Uh, yeah, sorry, oh yeah, Canva. Which reminds me, your subscriptions. When you move out here, guys, not only wait till you do that, but when you get out here, make sure you review your Netflix and all those subscriptions, because they have Philippines pricings. The Canva, for example, is 2,500 pesos for the year for the professional version of Canva, which in the States, it's whatever, 3 times that. Netflix is a lot cheaper. Spotify is a lot cheaper. YouTube Premium is dirt cheap. I did not do YouTube Premium in the United States. I can't even know how much YouTube Premium is. So it's basically you get commercial free, plus you get music. So with that one subscription to YouTube Premium, I lost. I got rid of Spotify because I just use YouTube Music. Plus I have commercial free YouTube. So highly recommend that, guys. But yeah, no, you're right on, Odo. Get out here, get your life set up, then worry about the girl. Although it's hard to do, but yeah, it's right on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But these Filipinos super flexible too. They're willing to adapt. They just want a good man. They want a good, honest man to take care of them and provide for them. And that's what we want. We want a good, honest girl to take care of us and provide for us. So it's just, man, it's a good fit, gentlemen. It really is. Yep. How long have I been with Mary Rose? Mary Rose and I have been together like a year and a half. Yeah, year and a half we've been together. We started dating in April, whatever. So we've been dating for a while. She's, she's the second kind of long-term relationships. I dated a girl early on. We really dated for a couple months is all. It wasn't a good fit. But we had broke up. And then I dated kind of a little bit here and there, shorter relationships, whatever, a week or so. But Mary Rose is like the first kind of long-term relationship that I've had here. It's been a year and a half. So, but yeah, and we met online, actually. We met on Tinder. Yeah, I was traveling. I was in Palawan. I was there for a wedding, and had been single for several months at the time, dating. Whatever. I had dated a girl in Cebu that was like, yeah, this probably ain't gonna work at the time, but so I was like, oh, I'll see what's out here, and met Mary Rose online, and we just started as friends. She didn't want to meet me initially in person. But I said, look, let's just, bring friends, family, whatever. We'll go to barbecue. We'll hang out. Let's not worry about relationship. Let's just be friends. Let's just meet that way. And that's kind of how the first couple of weeks went. So Tell them Mary Rose is like, tell them the funny story. She was so concerned, like she was nervous about meeting me, that the first week she never took her shoes off. So when she came in the house to chat or whatever, to hang out, she wouldn't take her shoes off. So that way she could run if she needed to. She's over here laughing. But yeah, but we've been together a year and a half, and yeah, it's good. Like I said, it's a relationship. So, it's got its ups and downs, but we do have mutual respect for each other. The ugly tourist is example, is an excellent example, as in Chris here, which is why I'm here. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know the ugly tourist. I'll have to check that out. Cool. And thank you though. I appreciate that, Scott. Appreciate it. Yep. Agreed. The Filipinas. I just didn't want to be a dad again. Yeah, no, I understand. My daughter is 24 and finishing up her master's in genetics. Wow, impressive, brother. Yeah, now I just need a partner in crime to share my adventures. Brother, it's a perfect country. The perfect country is, and you just be open with that. Be open with what you are with kids and what you want. It's a country full of potential relationships. So if you're looking for a partner to do that with, you are coming to the right place, brother, and you will find her. Just give yourself a little bit of time to make that decision, but she's here. She is definitely here without a doubt. And there's probably hundreds of them, that are thousands of them, that are here that would fit that what you're looking for easily. Why Butuan? I have flown in and also stayed there for a few times, but it is so wet. Also, the malls are small compared to the big cities. I found little to do and it's so wet. All right, so why Butuan? I liked this size of town. Yeah, let's pull up the map real quick and then we'll probably wrap it up here in a minute as I'm getting hungry. Let's see here. Let's add that. I'll show you. So the couple factors am I deciding of Butuan. One, I like this size of town. I wanted a town that had some things, like you're saying, the malls and stuff, but still was a town that didn't have a lot of traffic. So if you look at the traffic here in Butuan, yeah, if you look at the traffic, there is not a lot. There's a couple of small congestion points around this river, a couple of spots around SM, but these are tiny. These are, like you see, one block here. So it's a town that's easy, you can navigate. And look at this, you got this bypass road out here. There's nobody on this road. There's also some other bypass roads here that you can get by. So I like that it was a town that you could easily navigate, that did not have a lot of traffic. So that was one of the big factors. I also wanted a town that had grocery stores, that had malls and things like that, that I can get that. Because when I lived in Palapan, the grocery stores were small. They really, I mean, they were just so tiny. It was hard to get anything in there. You were pretty much shopping at markets. So Butuan does have the malls, that has the grocery stores, that has the markets. There's actually 3 of them here, and that's enough for me. I don't need a dozen malls, right? I just need a couple of options. I also liked the restaurants and stuff like that. The SM Mall, which I just showed in the map, is one of the newer malls. It's only been there a couple of years, and it's got a lot of little restaurants and stuff like that that you could eat at. So I do like the malls. So I didn't want a big CDO. I didn't want a big Cebu city. I wanted a smaller town with a couple of malls that I could easily get around. The other thing that Butuan City does in this town that some of the other cities like Ormoc don't do is they control the trike traffic, which is so key. Ormoc, they got trikes all over the town, and the whole town is congested with traffic. Butuan doesn't allow it. They limit the trike traffic to certain roads. So you've got a town that's easily navigated. You've got great grocery, you got shops. You do have an airport here you can fly in and out of. As I showed earlier in the live stream, you can hop on a plane for $50 and get back to Cebu if you needed to. I also like another option of Butuan, Sean, is there's not as many foreigners here. I did not like the fact that in Cebu City, when I was there for a couple of years, I started to feel like I was right back in the United States. I had myself surrounded with Westerners, Westerner friends, all that stuff. I just wasn't for me. So I've got a smaller town. I've got the amenities that I need, and that's great. I've got a small house out in the middle of the provinces. The housing was another factor that had me choose this town. I like that I could go out to Facebook Marketplace and see literally hundreds of options of housing options that I could go to. Now, a lot of those options, admittedly, were not up to Western standards. They were, whatever dark, dingy places that I couldn't see myself living in, but I did find a place within a couple of weeks of looking. So housing was another option, affordable housing, 12,000 pesos a month for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. You guys have seen the video. So yeah, that was another factor. You ain't finding that in Cebu. No way. Not in the city. No way. So yeah, those were all why I chose Butuan. I think it lines up well with Ormoc, but with better traffic. That would be out of all the cities, what I would compare it to most would be Ormoc. About the same size, and that I also like where it lays in the country, where I'm pretty much sheltered from a lot of the typhoons that run through. I don't have volcanoes that are blowing down my back door, and I don't have the earthquakes like Davao does. So I like the location for kind of a lot of those regions, like I said. Now, if you're a guy who wants to date around a lot, if you're a guy that wants in the big nightlife, Butuan City ain't it. This place goes to sleep after 9 p.m., but you know what? So do I. I mean, or goes to sleep around 9 p.m. You know, I do too, guys. Last night, I think I went to bed at 8:30. I'm not a night guy. I'm a morning guy. I like getting up at 5 a.m. I like checking out outside. I like watching sunsets. I like that. I like nature. There's Butuan Mountains. There's beautiful Camigan Island. There's Siargao and all the destinations around here. There's a lot going on in this area, but nightlife and dating isn't it, right? If those are your priorities, Cebu City, BGC, those are probably more suited for that. So yeah, quiet country living is kind of what's out here with what you need, right? With grocery stores, with hospitals. That's why I chose it, Sean. That's why I like it out here. And yeah. So I think that pretty much says it. Exactly. I'll be there doing what I love, cruising around on a bike from island to island, discovering everything I can. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you're so sweet. Coming in to check on my coffee. I'm still besug. I'm still full. I'm getting hungry though. Oh, my coffee's still full. Babe, we're getting ready to wrap it up here. Anything you want to say or do? Anything you want to add? You want to get a microphone? I'm fine. You know what though? This damn thing wouldn't sync up too. I don't know what's going on. I think that's Bluetooth pairing mode. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, still figuring out the new. I got these new mics. Admittedly, I freaking bought them. I got the DJI mic 2s because I had the original DJI mics, and they freaking they hit their end of life really in so many ways, the battery and all that. But so I got these, and freaking DJI just came out with a mic 3. A little bit annoyed, admittedly, as I like latest and greatest, but that's fine. These will work. But yeah, still freaking figuring this out. But yeah, thanks, babe. I appreciate it. Did you eat breakfast?
Yeah.
What'd you eat?
Bacon.
Bacon.
With
Do we have bacon
fried
still?
rice. Yeah.
Oh, bacon and fried rice.
I cook bacon for you.
Oh, thanks, baby. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I should get some breakfast, guys. I'm getting hungry. Yeah. Yeah. No, Jerry, it's exactly, amen, brother. That's what I love doing out here. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be afraid to date. Just don't commit. Not too early on, anyways. It's hard to find a Filipino who doesn't want a commitment. Like trying to date around is hard, man. It's hard. You know, they just don't. They're not. It's not the kind of culture. Yep, yep. Pull the ripcord. Right on, Scotty. 549 for YouTube Premium. Dirt cheap. Is that what I paid, man? I thought it was cheaper than that. Is that? Yeah, $10 a month. Cheap, right? I'm laughing that you look at your watch and ask how long you've been together. Yeah, no, I think what happened is I actually got some kind of notification on my watch. Either it was, I think something kicked off on news. Yeah, yeah. I wasn't replying to how long we've been together. Are you staying in the Philippines for good? Yeah, Joy, this is home. This is home. Yep. As long as the country will have me, I'll be here. I love it here, man. I absolutely love it here. Except when the landscapers rip out my bushes, but I love it here. I was already married for 20 years. She left me with my ex-friend. Had more money. I get you, man. Yeah, the single for almost a decade. My friends were getting concerned. Yeah, my Filipino friend introduced me to my LVR. Yeah, it just takes time, man. Keep working. Keep working. Yeah, take care of both. Feel safe. Be the good role. Amen, brother. Yeah, yeah. We have to travel there. We have to travel there for malls. Yeah, you guys are super remote. You have to travel to the malls. Yeah, I don't know how I survived in Surigao City. Yeah, I like Surigao City. I like it a lot. But that was one of the things I noticed as well, is you don't necessarily have the malls like I do here in Butuan. But I love Surigao City. I loved it. And talk about a prime location. Wow. You've got everything. You know, let's pull up the map really quick. Hold on here. Where am I at? Yeah, add the stage. Yeah, so and not far, right? A couple hours away. Surigao City. Am I saying that right, baby?
Mhm.
Yeah. Surigao. You know, yeah. So not quite 3 hours away. So what I love about Surigao City is, and I think it's nicknamed this, right? Like the Gateway City or something like that. Look at that. See all these lines? These are all ferry options that you can run from there. So many, and just look at what you have. You have the island of Surigao, General Luna over here, which have, what's the name of that baby? Dignagat islands up here that I'm so excited for us to go see. You got Southern Leyte that you can get to right here. So you really do. You've got a whole world of stuff that you can get to. So that's one of the things I actually really, really like about Surigao in your region where you're at, brother. I like it there a lot. And I think for the ultimate adventurer, I think Surigao City might be where it's at, man. That place just because you can get everywhere.
I don't know.
But Pomeranian, but a Pomeranian, yeah. Oh, a dog, the Pomeranian dog. You know what he's talking about? He's got that little freaking dog. That's cute. She's a little wolf, right? Or he, whichever. You know Odo, right? You know Odo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Last post, but well, peace be with you. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I'll be back as time permits. All right, Scott. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Thanks for the great reply. Appreciate it. No worries, Sean. No worries. Yeah, what was I replying to up there?
He's asking if why.
Oh yeah, why Butuan? I see up there. Yeah, brother. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, there was a lot to go into Butuan, honestly. Well, we thought about Palampon and staying up there, and we both miss it there. I'm admittedly I miss Palampon. I love that little small town. It's just a little bit too small. But I loved it there. I love the beach.
Yes.
Guys, we were in our freaking bicycle helmets just riding around the town. I don't know. I mean, I haven't given up on Palampon, honestly. Be here for a couple of years and we'll see. Gorgeous there. The freaking barbecue at night with a sunset, with a bats. I mean, the people, yeah, the meat shop owners. I miss it. I do like it there. I do like it. I lied. My Spanish friends call me Viejo Lobo. Yeah, old wolf. Peace out. Viejo Lobo. Journey in Bohol. Good morning, Chris. Brought my LDR to the U.S. back in 2008. K1 visa, married U.S. I had a daughter, lived there for 14 years, retired, moved to Bohol, and I've been here 3 years now. What a story, brother. What a story. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. What about brownouts? We haven't had any brownouts.
No,
Yeah, we lost that power that one time, right, babe?
it's just, yeah.
Yeah,
just
a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Couple minutes. Nothing like we experienced in Leyte. Leyte's got a lot more power issues. But look, every problem there's a solution. Same with the brownouts. Get yourself a little solar system and you're golden. There we definitely had all day, but here we haven't had anything.
No, we're tracking them on their page, but we haven't heard any brownouts in Barangay Libertad. No.
Yeah. So what she's saying there too, guys, is you can get on the Facebook pages of these power companies and you can track these outages because most of the time they're scheduled. But here so far, nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, brother. Look me up when you're down here, please. Would love to meet up. You've got a ton of experience in this area, in this region, living for so long. Would love to meet up, brother, when you come down. And when we come up, I would suspect we'll be making it your way at some point for sure, because we want to get to some of those islands that are next to you. So yeah, brother. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Sorry for joining late. Yeah, no worries, Matt. Just got off work. Oh yeah, I didn't think about this. I started a little bit early. This is the question from Mary Rose. Are you going to be able to, with your degree? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. You guys can hear her okay, right? I think so. What are you going to do with your degree, babe?
I'll just let it sit. No, just kidding. I'm trying to look here. I'm still figuring out Butuan. So
Right.
I'm just studying Butuan if it works. And I'm trying to look for a job that's um, aligned with my degree.
Right.
My degree is Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to do more about that.
You know, when we talked about this and what I understood too from her, when we moved out to Butuan, we wanted to travel some first. So I think that's what we're doing first. Well, the first and foremost is get set up, get planted, get our house set up the way we wanted. Um, and that's been busy, man. We've been doing a lot of work here. So and then travel a little bit. And then what she would like to do, and we've talked about this, is work for a little bit and then really just kind of help her family get set up back in Palampong. Whether that's a year or 2 years, whatever, but find a job and work for a little bit, potentially go back and get her master's after working for a little bit. That was one of the things when we looked at what we were considering is just for her to go back to school and get her master's right away in teaching and then maybe teach at the local university. Well, everyone that she talked to said, no, go work for a year or two, come back and get your master's. So that's kind of the strategy that she's been taking on is, you know what, let's go out, let's travel around a little bit, let's see, maybe work for a little bit, maybe buy a piece of land, build a home for her family, um, and then maybe come back and do some stuff. So right now we're in the beginning of that phase is just kind of traveling around for a little bit. We're going to do these trips in October and stuff, but maybe come January or so, look to, because she's still actually working on getting a lot of that paperwork, that certification, so that way she can work. Some of that stuff is back in Palampon that she's got to pick up. It's really kind of a lengthy process to kind of get set up to legally work here in this country, even as a citizen. So she's getting a lot of that set up and then, work, save up some money and help her family kind of get set up in a nice home there. So yeah, that's kind of what I see too, Matt. What's he saying?
Hanggang sa muli and feed the good.
Yeah, Pomeranian. Yes, take care there, brother. Really appreciate it. I think with that, I'm starving, guys. I'm going to get some breakfast, and we've been going at it almost 3 hours, so 2 hours and 40 minutes. So we'll cut it off here. Really appreciate everyone watching and checking out the channel. Really, just salamat kayo, just guys. Really, thank you. It's really is. I get a lot out of it. I do. I enjoy it, and so really appreciate you guys being part of this community. And as we figure out life together, right, whether that's here in the Philippines, in the United States, whatever, I think that's really kind of the goal of me and this channel is just, let's figure crap out, right? figure out how to be good humans, figure out, being good to each other, being respectful. And so anyways, really emptying IOIO,
Feed a good wolf.
feed the good wolf, or feed the good Pomeranian. We'll see you guys. Emptying. Yeah.